Okay, so we're here. It's the usual one, me, Kitty, uh, reading the usual thing. We're on. Fuck. Half the people are missing because they are doing something probably late.
Smoking weed.
I don't know if weed is legal in Denmark actually. Certainly not in the
Probably.
U.S. But yeah, they're gonna be late probably. Not that it really bothers me because it gets to be a little bit more quiet and I get to think and talk a little bit more and have fewer interruptions, get through things a little bit faster, Anyways, we are on chapter 6 and hopefully we will get through chapter 7 today. What kind of voice do you think I should do today?
I don't know. I like the Nazi German voice for all the fun.
Well, yeah, that's a given. Like,
Oh.
we have to go through... We have to use the German accent for all the funness, because they are the master race, after all.
Oh, yeah.
I think that delved a little bit too into Austrian, actually. I need to reduce the
yeah.
amount of gay.
Oh, Hail Adolf Braun, or whatever his fucking name is in the story.
Oh, Jesus. But, for a more general voice, what should I use?
I don't know, man. Do you. Do whatever you're comfortable with.
Okie dokie.
Good.
So, let's start. Broken Fang, it's by the usual suspect, Cyanide Sins, that one. That creature.
The one who fucking posted chapter whatever 57, and she said, "Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just gonna say she because you have me convinced now."
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I didn't update sooner, guys, but I had to have a tumor removed. Really, you had a tumor removed? But let me put this: you had a tumor removed, but you had enough time to fucking publish 4 other fanfics, commission fanfics, while you were having the tumor removed. Okay.
What I'm just gonna say that they got cancer from their own story.
Dude, that's probably actually what happened. That is actually.
But anyways, we should probably get into the reading. I should rather. We're on chapter 6, Education. The summary is as follows. Blake and Yang chatting. Cinder comes for a visit. Yang gives a hand at stress relief. Hand jobs. Gives him a little bit of handy. Okay. Since people seem to like Yang and question where Cinder is, well, it is a wonderful time to introduce Cinder. No, this was planned. Yeah, she's woefully ideological. What? That doesn't convince me.
No, don't worry. She'll totally be important to the story later, I promise you. She won't show up for 2 chapters and then disappear completely.
Oh yeah, 100%, 100%. So, are you going to behave, or are you going to be a bratty cat? The dear faunus hissed at her. She felt affronted, her eyes blazing with indignation. She dare lecture me. Together, we can revolt against the man who keeps us in our chains. Why should we be serving a human? What has he done, aside from being born a human and in a position of privilege? The blonde looked at her with her lilac eyes, her soft exhale like a thunder on a hot, muggy night, her head shaking as she let her fingers tap lightly onto her thighs. Because he's not raping us in front of the other slaves. Duh. The thought was disgusting, and she showed it on her face. I don't know where you've been, Miss Revolutionary, but we don't have rights and such. Our rights were taken from us. Still, the dear faunus did not understand. It was clear from her eyes that looked at her with pity and a little resentment. To be a free faunus was the right of everyone, or so had been told to her. Her father had advocated for the treatment of humanity and faunus as equals, rather than status quo that had been forced on them in servitude.
Keep that in mind for later on.
Papa Complex.
Just saying.
Papa Complex.
Oh, baby, you wouldn't believe.
You were freshly captured and sold to him, weren't you? The accusing tone that the other faunus used was light, the eyes of the faunus shimmering in the dusk of the room. Blake frowned. Yes, So, the sigh from the other woman was enough of a slight against her. The dear faunus looking at her with a look. Looking at her with a look, okay. He's still...
Brilliant.
Huh? He's still the best... Wait. It's the best fucking thing that could have happened to you, little bitch. Do you know how he treats you? Fuck. Most slaves don't even get told to be treated kindly or given their shots. The treatment that I got was worth 2 slaves. You don't get that unless you are someone who is top tier. The anger and frustration in the other girl's voice was real. So, the incredulous look on the blonde's face irked her. That it was the sight of someone who couldn't understand, who was tamed like a bitch for her master, whose bastard seed would defile her. Don't you have pride? You, she hissed, knowing that the cell that they shared was undoubtedly isolated enough to keep the human masters from overhearing their words. Just give me one moment here.
So I'll go, baby. So everybody, yeah, seems we've been abandoned tonight by Lal and Cap in the gang, which is pretty odd. Usually Cap enjoys hearing Kitty suffer reading this. I kind of do too. As for what is Lal's doing, I don't fucking know. Maybe he's just tired. Who knows? So yeah, I'm your entertainment for tonight while Kitty is off doing whatever he's doing. This fanfic's real shit. You couldn't tell that already. I haven't even gotten to most of the rape yet, and it's already fucking terrible. Blake's a cunt. Yang's likable at first, but quickly turns into a psychopathic cunt as well. John's a retarded cunt. Yeah. I don't think there's a single likable... No, hold on. No, I lost it. I don't think there's a single likable character in this entire fanfic. Everybody is either real stupid, incestuous, a psychopath, or simply the dumbest motherfucker that's ever lived. Everybody's real fucking stupid. The only one who I kind of like is Ash, because she seems tired of all this shit, and I am also tired of all this shit, so we both share that in common.
You mean that a story full of terrible people who go around raping constantly as part of ethno-supremacist movements are terrible people? Wow. Surprise, surprise!
Oh, yeah. I was just entertaining the audience while you were gone, Kitty.
I heard it had a lot of fucking noise in my background. I am going to yell at Lol and
the gang?
Yeah, I'm gonna yell at them and be like, yo, where the fuck are you? Gives me 5 minutes.
So all good. I'm just playing Hearts of Iron 4 while you're doing that, so it's all good, baby. Take your time.
There we go. And, I think I shall continue. Since I sent out the fucking ping.
I was having a talk. I was having a sit down with Captain, and then you were like, "Oh, where the fuck are you?"
Well, you guys are like 10 fucking minutes late.
I don't care. I had a genuine discussion with him.
Okay.
Yes.
They were talking on how to overthrow Kitty.
Oh no.
So.
Kitty,
I've already grown too successful.
Are you recording right now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
I started at exactly 7:30.
Right.
Every time. We can talk.
We already got the Hitler jokes out of the way, so we're
yeah,
good.
we can talk afterwards. It's fine. Anyways.
I was just having a sit down.
It's fine. It's fine. Corpora's gonna be coming soon, right? Yeah. He said he was gonna eat something, and that's acceptable. It's expected because he's what, an hour behind me, so it's like what, 6:40 for him. It's fine. Anyways, we are a little ways through. The cat is yelling at the goat and the deer, and the goat and the deer are surprised that the cat is such a cunt.
That sounds like there we go. That sounds like the start of a bad joke.
I thought you were gonna say furry porno, Lau. But yeah.
Yeah, I was
too.
just about to say it sounds like the plot of a bad furry porno.
You know what? At the very least, the cat isn't a complete pussy.
Oh no, she'll be a complete pussy. Just give it a couple.
God damn it! Why don't you people react to my dad jokes? I waste them on you.
Technically, she is a pussy right now because she's really taking a lot of poundings.
Kitty.
Well, I mean, she's technically a pussy in 3 ways. She's a pussy in the fact that she's a cat. She's a pussy in the fact that she's has an actual pussy, and then she's a pussy emotionally or whatever. So there you go.
The fucking breakdown of my dad joke is depressing to me. Jesus Christ, people. Ah! Okay, I almost knocked something over.
I react to your dad jokes by just silent contempt for you.
Oh.
Hey, I gotta practice now before it comes in the future, right?
Oh, you think you're gonna be a dad? How cute.
I will whether someone likes it or not.
I feel sorry for the woman who ends up marrying you, and I would totally make sure that she's
you
safe
think it's gonna be a
and
marriage,
warm
you poor
and happy
bastard.
at night.
Oh, cap.
It's gonna be a victim.
It's not a marriage if she doesn't agree. Enough of the rape jokes, though. Jesus, I should leave those to the fucking shitty story. Jesus Christ. And I will continue.
Is this the shit story?
Yes,
No shit.
It's the shit story.
No shit, it's a shit story, you shithead.
Why should we be serving a human? What has he done aside from being born a human in a position of privilege? The blonde looked at her with her lilac eyes, her soft exhale like the thunder on a hot, muggy night, her head shaking as she let her fingers tap lightly onto her thighs. Because he's not raping us in front of the other slaves. Duh. The thought was disgusting, and she showed it on her face. Wait. I don't know where you've been, Miss Revolutionary, but we don't have the rights and such. Our rights were taken from us. Still, the dear faunus did not understand. It was clear from her eyes that looked at her with pity and a little resentment. To be a free faunus was the right of everyone, or so it had been told to her. Her father had advocated for the treatment of humanity and faunus as equals, rather than the status quo that had been forced on them in servitude. You were freshly captured and sold to him. Wait, you were freshly captured and sold to him, weren't you? The accusing tone that the other faunus used was light, the eyes of the faunus shimmering in the dusk of the room. Blake frowned. Yes, so? The sigh from the other woman was enough of a slight against her, the dear faunus looking at her with a look. He's still the best fucking things that could have happened to you, little bitch. Do you know how he treats you? Fuck, most slaves don't even get told to be treated kindly, or be given any of the shots. The treatment that I was given was worth 2 slaves. You don't get that unless you are someone who is top tier. The anger and frustration on the other girl's voice was real. So?
It was real.
The incredulous look on the blonde's face irked her. It was a sight of someone who couldn't understand, who was tamed like a bitch for a master whose bastard seed would defile her. Don't you have pride? You. She hissed, knowing that the cell that they shared was undoubtedly isolated enough to keep the human masters from overhearing their words. You're a moron, Black. The mangling of her name was something that she took for granted, straightening herself out a little. She was a proud faunus. To see one of her fellow kin look at her with such eyes was disgraceful. You don't know. We fight for a revolution, for our rights. The blonde paled. You're mad. You're absolutely mad. Saying those words, that's treason. Blake looked at her new companion, not giving the other woman the time. So what? The first kill is always the hardest. She had killed. It had been mercy for them, the slaves who were set free, allowed to be free and well. Seeing the blonde go sheet white and quiver was especially gratifying. That serving bitch could no doubt just think about her next meal. A light lap pet to her owner. Or complete lap pet to her owner. I see. The response wasn't what she expected. The dear fauness tilting her head, a distant look on her face. I guess you'd be the kind. What do you mean? The blonde gave a disgusted look at her. The kind who goes around souring the place for us regular faunus folk. Blake took objection to that. She was a revolutionary. She had fought for the joy of the freed slaves. She could not understand why the hooker would be against this. Oh. Oh, that made me break my focus. Oh, I need a drink. Okay.
Also, it's just wanted to point out, it still says that it's the Halloween Spooktober thing in the live on YouTube.
Motherfucker YouTube. Motherfucking YouTube. Okay, I can fix that. Motherfucker on a brick. Shit.
Shit balls.
Dick on a brick on a lick.
Trust me. If I was gonna say, you may have. No, okay. Well, the story's so poorly written, nobody's gonna feel anything from it except irritation. But if it was properly written, you might feel bad for the faunus. But trust me, Sonny Jim. Later on, trust me, you won't feel anything.
See, if you write well, people will feel bad for characters getting into danger and even being in pain. I'm sure Katie and Cap can tell you all about what it's like watching a character that you like, even a little bit, being in pain. You know how you don't make characters sympathetic?
By making them monsters.
Yes, by making them monsters. Even monsters can be sympathetic, but if you make someone an actor monster, even more of a monster than the person that is hurting them, people are gonna think, wow, fuck these guys.
There we go.
We haven't even. Oh, okay. We're gonna get to a point. Something that involves Blake, and it's hilarious later on. Do you know what I'm talking about, Cap?
Oh fuck! I have to fix some shit.
Probably. It's been a while since I've actually read through the book, but
it involves something involving her and her dad. I'm just gonna put it there.
Yeah. I am very much aware. I remember.
But yeah, to reference the Nazis again, there's a reason every movie that's about how awful World War II is, including Germans, doesn't include the fucking SS or just generally people that are horrible. It's usually just the naive soldier or the child soldier. Yeah. Or the just standard soldier of the Wehrmacht that didn't have a clue. It's not the monsters that watch Jews like in the eyes as they shot them with pistols.
I was gonna say, in Saving Private Ryan, when they assault that unit or whatever, and that guy goes off and joins him again, was that guy was that an SS unit they assaulted? I forget.
No, it was Wehrmacht. Apparently, it was the Third Army. Third Army Regiment or something like that. And the reason why that happened is because essentially he just got recycled because he survived. Because if he didn't go back out, they just want to shoot him anyway.
Shot him, yeah. Yeah. I was gonna say, at that point, I probably would have just wanted to have been captured by the Americans. I'm like, I get to go on vacation.
They didn't take prisoners at the time.
The Americans? I thought they did. I was gonna say, this was well into D-Day, wasn't it? I was gonna say that scene takes place like what, a couple weeks after D-Day, I thought.
No, the units that were active at the time didn't take prisoners.
The reason for that was because it was too difficult to transport them. So they took prisoners in the Pacific theater, but not in the European theater due to logistical issues. Because Britain couldn't supply them to actually maintain the prisoners that they took. So any POWs would have no food and it'd be taken from American supply lines, and they'd have to ship them all the way back to America over the Atlantic, which is a disaster waiting to happen.
I was gonna say, I thought they did end up getting like quite a couple German POWs, at least a fuck ton more than they did with the Japanese. So.
No, they actually got a lot of Japanese POWs. The issue is that if they were ever released, they would return to the units and be killed. So the POWs ended up almost being refugees at the same time.
Are you? I was gonna say, are you sure you're not mixing them up? Because I was gonna say, during the Battle of Iwo Jima, there was a garrison of like, I think it was like something like 17,000 Japanese like people or whatever. We only took like 100 of them prisoner. The rest either killed themselves or didn't surrender.
Well, yes, he's talking from an overall perspective, not individual battles.
Yeah.
The reason that those battles are mentioned is to exemplify the stubbornness of Japanese, but
they literally sent women and children to die if they wouldn't fight. They would jump off cliffs and kill themselves. The Japanese forces in World War II were fucking horrific.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hey, and guess later on what the Faunus are based off of.
Oh, no!
My favorite game from the Japanese was Catch the Baby. What are you gonna catch it with? The end of the bayonet.
The end of the bayonet. I was gonna say, can you? I forgot what history podcast I was listening to, but apparently there was like these two Japanese dudes in fucking China, and they had a competition to see who could behead the most people, like the quickest.
That was not just in China. That was an actual samurai tradition.
And then they got taken to a war crime trial, and their answers was, "What did we do wrong? I don't know what we did wrong."
It just reminds me of the one thing of the samurai, to where if they got a new sword, there was no law preventing them from just immediately testing it out on the first person to walk by them. They would just blatantly murder some dude who just had the unfortunate thing of walking by a samurai who got a new sword to test it out.
Well, that's what happens when you're dealing with a noble caste that is technologically, militarily superior to anybody out there. Pretty much at every single point in European history, the peasantry could own weapons. Like, they could buy and sell weapons as they pleased. It was difficult to get one because they were expensive, but that was a distinct thing in European culture, where you were expected to be armed pretty much all the time. In Japanese culture, there was many points wherein whichever the ruler was, be it a shogun or an emperor, or even a regional noble, they would take away the weapons of the average person. So you weren't allowed to own a sword. You weren't allowed to own blackjack or whatever their version of it was. You weren't allowed to own any tools of war, basically. And that was to protect the nobility. That's the entire purpose of disarming your populace.
Were you going to say disenfranchisement?
And that was also the thing, too, is why all of the shinobi tools and shit were literally just repurposed farming tools.
Yep.
It was also part of why they really didn't like the merchant class. There was the whole religious part of it, with you have to produce something yourself. But it's also because those were not part of the nobility, and they had the money to buy weapons if they wanted to.
Also, they
could supply peasants with weapons, so the nobility didn't like that idea.
Shinobi also didn't really exist. So, the thing that's misunderstood often about ninja is that everybody in every military noble was expected to be a ninja. Because, I don't think it was actually called ninjutsu, but that general style of combat, which is very subversive and designed for very specific missions kind of thing, guerrilla tactics and all that. That's something that was expected of everybody, because you don't know if you're going to be caught alone. Samurai were supposed to be efficient warriors, not this glorious honor culture that's pretended of them. Samurai were ninja, and ninja were samurai. They had extreme overlap.
It just kind of reminded me, too, of, like, one of the things of what a ninja would do is, the latrines, right? The ninja would fucking wait in the latrine with a glass spear and then just stab the dude up the ass to kill him.
That's pretty great, actually.
Anyways, we should probably get back to the story.
Let's get back to the fucking Nazis.
Remember, Broken Fang has Adolf Schmittler.
Adolf Schmittler, yeah. But I was gonna say, Lyle, the Faunists are treated more like the Nazis. They're like a little bit of the Nazis, but they're more like Imperial Japan from World War II. So, yeah.
Yeah, let's get back to the Nazis.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Nazis are far more entertaining than the actual Nazis.
Aww.
Anyways, continuing on. The kind that goes around souring the place for us regular honest folk. Blake took objection to that. She was revolutionary. She had fought for the joy of freed slaves. She couldn't understand why the hooker would be against this. You would deny my freedom? With enough of our people, we can crush the humans, take over the place, and ensure that our demands would be met. It would be like the four were united once more. She was a believer that there would be a reckoning. The great tiger had spoken, and she had heeded the call. When the words had grown tough, and the need pressing within her, she had fought to get the cock. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, I hate the fact that they keep emphasizing these characters being revolutionary. Then the moment challenge yourself, cock.
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 I was gonna say that is actually very accurate to Blake in the show. I'm just gonna say that right now. Not the cock part, but the being.
Oh yeah,
being a massive, the bluster and nonsense.
Yeah, a massive hypocritical cunt who has the willpower of a wet sack of gravel. Yeah.
Anyways, continuing on. She was a fighter, a warrior, someone who had bled for the White Fang, who had turned her fangs upon the humans. Would it really work? Would it really work? Her companion in slavery to the young master of the Ark household spoke in a melancholic term. What will you do when you get your demands? Ensure that the kingdom will free the faunus. That is our right, to be free. The morose expression on the blonde's face was real. I have seen the tiger. I have seen how the people were rallied by the speeches, the call for blood. You too, if you act. She had seen the difference in treatment between herself and the blonde.
It feels like we've read this before, but that might just be the shitty writing.
No, it's just the shitty writing. Also, your mic is wigging out again. Wow.
Yeah. It was happening in the in the game earlier. So.
Gotcha.
Let's see, where was I? There had been no marks on the blonde's face, nor had there been any bruises visible. We can take him down. Pretend that we are meek. Cowed. The look on the blonde's face changed to anger, her teeth bared in an animalistic, snarling manner. Not on my life. Master Jean is a good person. The expression did not change much from that mistrust, as the other faunus took a deep breath. Better than most. You should just give up. She would not give up. Do you know how to read? The question came suddenly. Do you know how to read? The question came suddenly, Blake blinking at the thought. Reading? She couldn't really read, and whatever the humans spoke was a mystery to her as well, the formal lingo not being akin to the common language that they busied. Well, no. Do you? She saw the blonde purse her lips, shaking her head. It had been a total kill for the communication between the two of them, the subject having derailed from there. No? The answer didn't feel genuine, yet Blake knew that learning how to read was for those who had been educated. What? Her father knew how to read, as did her mother. They were old enough to have been able to have learned pre-revolution, when there had still been public education for the faunus. I'm amazed at public education at all in this fucking medieval society, okay? Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say...
Look, there is public education, but it's fake. I'm very, very gay about the hunters.
I was gonna say medieval society that in reality has like fucking smartphones and fucking robots and smart guided missiles and miniguns. You know, that medieval society. You know.
Yeah, this is fucking all over the place, man.
Spaceships.
And fucking giant carrier airships that fucking are like aircraft carriers in the sky.
Meanwhile, actual medieval society, you'd be lucky if you got to university at any point. Otherwise, it was going to fucking church.
No. You're lucky if universities even exist yet.
Yeah.
You're lucky if you didn't.
Come on, there were a dozen, and all spread out all Europe, but there were a dozen.
Yeah, but like most of them didn't fucking exist until. Oh God. Were there? I want to know. Hold up, I'm gonna search this right now.
1600 and 1700.
First university built.
That was back in Greece, wasn't it?
The 10 oldest universities in the world. Let's see this. It's number 1, established in 1088, the University of Bologna or Bologna. Bologna. After that, it's the University of Oxford, then the University of Salamanca in Spain, the University of Paris, University of Cambridge, the University of Padua, University of Naples, Federico II, the University of Siena, the University of Coimbra, and the Al-Azhar University. So, the oldest that I can see here is Al-Azhar in 970, but let's go through the rest of them, see if I can see anything earlier. Other than that, it's like Oxford and Bologna.
What is the 10th place? What is the 10th place in the sense of the youngest of the oldest?
These are just 10 of the oldest. They're not listed in any particular fashion, because number 9 is Coimbra, and that's 1290. But let's see.
Okay.
First university.
Can you check what is the youngest of them?
I'd just like to reiterate that these, like I said, these people who have like aircraft carriers are getting their asses kicked by a bunch of wolves and bears. I'd just like to reiterate that, and that's canon.
Actual fucking animals.
Yeah.
So,
look,
the oldest university according to Guinness is in Morocco, and it was built in 859.
Okay, from the 10 that you listed, what is the youngest? To know.
The youngest university, it would be probably... Oh, in that list, it was 1290 with one of these Italian universities.
Okay. So, yeah, it's safe to say that there were a dozen.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Depending
in 1400,
if you're all the way back at the... if you were back at the start of CK2, it's like 0.
but that's barely the Middle Ages. That's the...
Okay, so the youngest university in this list is the University of Coimbra in Portugal.
So yeah, let's say status CK of EU4, 1444.
Oh my god, why are people pinging me in another server? Why am I being pinged by... Oh my god, why is this guy pinging me about fucking election stuff? I'm not interested in election stuff right now.
It's all a scam!
We don't need to discuss it right now. It's not the time, not the place.
I know. I'm joking.
But anyways, it's absolutely ridiculous for there to be any public education at all, let alone fucking places of higher learning.
Especially in fucking Faunus land, where, like I said, it's based off of, like, imperial fucking Japan, so, yeah.
Yeah, I don't even think...
And they act more like tribals than they do actual civilized people.
Yeah.
Fucking general gobbledygook.
Anyways.
Please put a cap in General Gobbledygook's ass over here, yeah.
Oh, you just shove a glass spear up it.
Nah, shove a 45 in its mouth and fucking shoot it.
Let's just sleep for now.
That's a Honest Hearts reference for all you New Vegas players out there. Anyhow, go ahead, sorry.
Let's just sleep for now, alright? The blonde said, her voice definitely trying to steer the conversation into better waters. And don't hurt Zamaster. You will regret it more than you ever wish. She was woken up... Oh my god, the time skip needs to be fucking indicated in your text, please, for the love of God. She was woken up...
No, skip all over the place in one paragraph. With no punctuation to separate time periods.
Yep. She was woken up by the house slave named Tara in the morning, told to wash up and be prepared for some more tasks in the morning. I never would have guessed.
Morning.
It was a slow startup for her, as Tara explained about the waxing of the floors, instructing her in the tasks that a slave would do. She bore with it, only due to the hurt from the inspection yesterday still remaining. Juniper Ark's right hook was something that'd cow most faunus twice the woman's size, and she'd no desire to meet with that again. And she apostrophe D, no desire. Contractions do not work like that. That's not where you use she contraction D. That's a really bad time. She had no desire would be the better one. She'd no desire. Like, it doesn't even have the right flow. Listen, for another tip for writers, if you read your text and it doesn't have good flow, scrap it, start over, focus on making sure it flows well. If you can't read it out loud well, and it doesn't sound right when you're reading it out loud, it's garbage.
Garbage.
Anyways, continuing on. Hello there, Tara, Blake. Wait. Hello there, Tara, Blake. The voice of her owner caused her to startle lightly, even as Tara set the small can of wax near her. Are you getting in well? He was accompanied by the crocodile Furnace, who gave her a look, the distaste on the woman's face well recorded. No.
Albino crocodile Furnace.
By the albino crocodile Furnace.
Can you tell it's an OC yet?
No! She hated it here. The collar chafed. Her body didn't feel like it belonged here, and the bastard's seed would not take. Take to what? To her ovum? Is that what she wants it to take to? I don't fucking get it.
That's normal.
You know it is. Don't lie.
Her owner looked concerned, like any human shouldn't. Were they not just all animals? His sister certainly seemed to think so. Ah, Ash, do you think you can take over from Blake for me? Yang is learning the tricks of attendance with my sister. The tone seemed to be gentle, even as she caught sight of the tall ram-horned Faunus, his gaze on her. I will accompany you, Master Ark. It is unwise to allow her the freedom of your person, whilst she has not been fully broken in yet. The smile on the human's face was kind as he reached out a hand through her hair. Ran a hand through her hair. It's so fucking confusing, some of this text, man. Like, it's all over the place. She suppressed the urge to lean away from him, even with her instincts telling her that it was all right to her internal senses. He scratched between her ears for a moment. She felt like she'd been right back at home with her mother and father before things had changed.
Wow, you're maxing out a lot.
I'm what?
You're maxing out a lot.
I think it might be an issue with Discord.
Probably.
It's probably.
Yeah, because on my end, let's see if it is fucking up as I talk here.
When you pull back, it sounds alright. When you're staying right up close to the mic to do the voice, it starts echoing in both sides.
Okay. It might be the channeling then. I have to turn down my mic a little bit.
Also, can we just wonder why every fucking cat girl has to have the ability to purr? Like, even though that makes no sense in terms of like how the human vocal cords are structured.
My question is, what's the appeal of it?
I think it would be more the thing is that
because
cats purr Yeah, cats purr because it gives out a specific type of sound that makes humans feel more relaxed around them. That's the reason why people like cats.
No,
because it's sweet or whatever. Yeah.
No, there's an actual reason. So, the purring is a function, or has the frequency that actually strengthens bones.
For cats.
That's actually
and
for humans. And for humans, it helps them heal. That's why cats purr when they're injured. So, it's also why they use cats as therapy animals for returning astronauts who've been in space for a long time. And that's a thing not just with house cats. There's a lot of big cats that purr. I think that cougars are one, but cheetahs as well. They also purr. So, let me just go to managing my fucking thing here while we keep talking. So, device properties. Oh my god.
Callie is the ultimate cougar.
Your quality just went through the ground.
Yeah, you went a lot back.
I think Discord is trying to kill itself.
Yeah, it might be Discord
Even
having
it
issues.
even it can't handle Broken Fang. And it
'Cause you guys
houses
are-
furries.
You guys are cutting out a little bit as well. I did lean away from my mic, so that could be it. It's saying 24 ms. But
Come on, it's
let's
provided.
keep going. Let's keep going.
What the fuck?
Okay, that's where I am. Well, if you must. The lackadaisical manner of speaking was like a mild reproach, as she was guided to his bedroom once more. She was getting more of a lay of the land as she looked at the other faunus who worked. Male faunus were hardly seen, other than the ram-horned one. Yeah, because nobody wants to look at a man's ass while they're working. Jesus. Come on, man. Hello, little brother. The voice of a woman interrupted as one of the sisters stepped into view. A dark brown dress. More playing fucking dress up. Auburn, you're here. The blonde woman looked at her brother with a little amusement on her face. She was currently holding what seemed to be some technological device that seemed to be one of those things that the rich could have. Nah, you don't fucking say! Oh my god! Did he have that many sisters, or did I miss that? Your fiancé is coming in the afternoon, in order to meet with you. Please, put your toys out of sight, if you can help it. The Fall family is influential, even if they are new money. The sigh that her owner gave was frustrated, even with his expression showing his frustration. Oh my god, it hurts how many times they repeat themselves. I'll say, though, you've certainly picked a beauty. The woman moved close, seizing Blake's chin and turning her head. Blake wanted to spit in the face of the woman, yet she remembered her punishment. A fire in her eyes. Oh, you lucky girl. You are so very lucky that you've got my kind-hearted little brother. The gritting of her teeth was audible as she looked into the woman's eyes, the disdain and displeasure in them visible, even as the blue pools gazed at her. Make no mistake, slave. The hand was gone from her chin, grabbing the collar from behind, choking her air off, audible choking sounds emerging from her throat as her neck felt strained. You are replaceable. No matter what you do or who you are told to service, you will never be able to propagate the name of Ark. The look in the woman's eyes was calm as she smirked coldly. You should stuff that spite and hate within you, little kitten. Auburn Ark's head turned to Jean. Little brother, will you lend me your kitten for a night? I'd love to introduce her to some new friends. Oh lord, more stuff in the background. Okay, I might have to pause it for a second, but... God, good lord, this is... Oh, I think Discord is not functioning. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's working at like 90 ms at the moment.
Holy moly. Okay.
Jesus Christ.
I'm at normal lag.
I can barely even hear you, Corper.
Fucking wild.
Let me boost the volume.
I've cranked it up to 200. I can still barely hear him.
Oh,
Corper,
wow.
say something. Corper, can you hear me?
I think his net is dying. Let me see if anything is showing.
Swiggity swag, what's in the bag?
Okay, well I can hear you, Cap.
It's the
Whoa.
rape train.
The rape train.
Oh, I can hear him now.
Okay. Okay, I think it's just fucking Discord fucking up as
Killing
usual.
himself, yeah.
Yeah.
Unsurprising nowadays.
Yep. That's how it always is.
Hi, Kermit.
Hey, if I
Kermit
could
the
do
Frog,
a Kermit the Frog, I would be doing it at all times. But this is not Kermit the Frog. It is more of a Marvin Martian.
Mm-hmm.
I can't keep track of all these retards.
The only thing I have to know is, will Captain James T. Kirk be a pilgrim?
No,
this
go away, go
Star
away.
Sector?
He will have no part of any of this, because if he so chooses to make his appearance, his red-shirtedness will be made self-evident. Because even if his shirt is yellow, it will turn
Keep
to
going
red.
with this. Tomorrow he's going to get killed.
Captain, I
Okay.
recommend we sterilize this planet with photon torpedoes. Nothing will be lost, I assure you.
Sterilize the planet and my fucking mind, holy shit.
Don't worry, he will not bother us anymore.
Actually, I'm going to take that as a jumping off point to something that really pisses me off in sci-fi. Words that are just jargon for the sake of jargon and have no real meaning. Photon torpedoes. What the fuck is a photon torpedo?
You mean techno
I thought we
babble?
were
Then
the
you
photos.
fucking hate
Captain, I
stuff.
already unmuted you.
So I just sent one of my friends
this
who was
Discord
listening
is
to
trying
that.
to
He's
kill
in the
itself.
live chat, but he's asking where it's at.
What the
Oh,
fuck is...
God, let me pull up the fucking thing I have and on a different one. I see
Yeah.
something in the live chat.
Wait,
Yeah.
Captain, you have friends?
So
my
you
God,
were
amazing.
raging against Technobubble? What's wrong
Anyways,
with
yes,
it?
Technobabble. I hate Technobabble. It is fucking awful. And the biggest problem with Technobabble is, like, if you have even a little bit of knowledge about science, then it comes off as the most pretentious bullshit. And it's obvious bullshit. Like, what? We have to use photon torpedoes. What the fuck is a photon torpedo? Are
Isn't
you
a
shooting
photon just
condensed
a-
light?
Isn't a photon literally just basically what's it called? Essentially like supercharged ions or some shit like that?
No. A photon...
It's literally what is
Kind
made
of.
of light.
Wow,
So
that's so
light
fucking
functions
gay.
as both a wavelength and as a particle. So when it's functioning as a particle, it's called a photon. When it's functioning as a wave, it's an electromagnetic wave. It acts as a
For-
photon when it
For
strikes
the people
an
on the
object.
back, that's the wave-particle duality of photons.
Yes. So a photon torpedo would thus logically be a explosive device that uses some kind of light to cause damage, which
If
is
I was gonna say-
ridiculous. That's just a nuke then.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm looking at it on the Star Trek wiki right now. It's not actually. It doesn't use photons. It uses matter antimatter explosion in order to like generate the explosion.
So it's not a photon torpedo!
It's
No,
an
it's a-
antimatter nuke,
It's an antimatter torpedo nuke thingy. Yeah.
which just pisses me off because, like, why the fuck are you using photon? Just call it antimatter. People are gonna understand that better than photon. Who knows what fucking photons are? It's not your
Well,
average person. That's
well,
just
I think-
technobabble.
Look,
I think because the only other time they
Phasers.
refer to
look at
antimatter in
phasers.
I think the only other time they refer to antimatter in Star Trek is like exclusively to like the warp core, the antimatter warp core or whatever. So it'd be confusing referring to both the antimatter warp core and the antimatter torpedoes. They probably just wanted to pick a word that sounded cool or something.
Yeah, and it's the whole thing too, is antimatter explosions are no fucking joke, dude. Those things like literally tear holes in reality
Bill,
because of how
no.
fucking powerful they are.
That's not the problem. The problem is, if you call something a photon torpedo, what the fuck is a photon torpedo? And when you go into the explanation of the universe,
It's a torpedo made
it's
of
not-
photon.
yeah, it's not a photon torpedo. It's a fucking antimatter nuke.
And
Oh, it says
besides,
it
That's writing.
It says it
antimatter
also releases
itself,
a flood of ion radiation. Maybe that's why it's called photon torpedo
but
because of the
that's
radiation.
That's not what photons are.
Look,
but
you make-
anyways.
The
fuck
light.
it, no.
It's
Also,
bad writing.
When the
Point of-
ion hits a particle, energize a photon, creating light.
Yes.
Maybe it's because of the collateral damage, and the light happens that they're called photon torpedoes. I don't know.
Anyways, antimatter. What antimatter does is when it interacts with actual matter, it causes an implosion that deletes equal proportions of both, and turning the matter into pure energy that is released.
Wait, it doesn't at least
Theoretically.
matter because energy and matter and equivalency.
Yes.
Anyway, welcome back to physics class.
Yes, that's theoretically how it works. Antimatter, we don't actually know what it does because while we've produced it, we don't know what the fuck it does. We don't want to explore what it does because the models we have say it's fucking apocalyptic. So maybe if we shoot some antimatter into like deep space past Jupiter, then we'll find out. But until then, nope.
I mean, we know what happens. We make anti-electrons, and the thing disappeared about in a femtosecond. So
I'm sorry, this is the most retarded explanation I've ever seen. Since the torpedo was originally conceived of as being primarily an area of effect weapon, what else do torpedoes fucking do? They called it a photon torpedo because rather than doing damage via direct application of the antimatter, you were doing it through a cascade of No.
What?
No.
Photons don't damage shit. How high are you?
they have
Yeah.
momentum, so yeah, they can damage shit.
If you have enough photons at once, then yeah, theoretically, but then that's just a laser.
Yeah.
It's
You know
just a
how-
fucking laser.
You know how you fix technobabble? Just use guns. Just use the road not taken, like the sci-fi story,
Hold up, Lol.
where they
Hold up,
literally
Lol.
just use.
But then you get what happens in fucking Warhammer.
Even then, that's fucking better than this shit. Where it's like, photon
Look,
torpedo. What's a photon? Well, it's light. Well, what does it do?
Look.
Well, it opens a
Look.
black hole. Well, then it's not a photon torpedo, is it?
Can we keep going through the story?
Yes,
Yeah,
we
let's
gotta
go.
keep going. It's been a
Everybody
fucking
knows
hour
what
and
a Walter does, and because it's a big fucking gun.
it's a fully automatic RPG. Yes, we know. But, anyways, continuing on. Her owner sighed and shook his head. I don't like it when you set the hounds on them.
I don't like it when you what?
I don't like it when you set the hounds on them.
Smithers, release the hounds.
I think what it's implying is it's fucking. They send dogs to fuck them.
Yeah, Auburn likes fucking faunus to death with
I
dogs.
was about to say we're gonna get to that.
Oh, yeah.
Lord Almighty! They've still got feelings. They just don't know better. A chill went through her body as Auburn Ark's eyes looked frostily at her. Blake's just a little confused. She's a good girl, but she just been raised badly. Don't speak about me as if I'm some pet! She was a faunus, not some house cat. Auburn Ark's eyes met her own as she patted her cheek, fingernails dragging over the skin, scraping it roughly. It's a mercy for her that we haven't burnt her tongue out yet for attempting to incite rebellion. Her blood froze as her owner's soft sigh came. That's the punishment, little brother. You are only spending wasted efforts on a little mongrel who cannot learn her place in life. She shivered without knowing why, as the elder sister gazed at her as if she were mere mud under her boot. What do you mean you don't know why? You're terrified, stupid harlot.
Getting your tongue cut out, yeah.
Like what the shit, man? What the shit, man? It's a mercy for her that we haven't. Oh wait, we already read that. She's going to improve. Not every pet immediately takes to an owner. She would say something about being nobody's pet, yet the Ark woman in front of her looked no less lethal than an average What? No less lethal than an average slave, yet there was a threat in her manner. What do you mean she looks no less lethal? Then.
She looks threatening.
She looks threatening, but also, she's not very threatening. What?
I don't fucking know, man.
Listen, she looks threatening, but she's not really threatening.
Yeah, it's more threatening than the slaves, but less threatening than the fucking gun.
I don't understand it. I don't get it. I don't like it. Anyways, we continue. I hope for you that is merely the acceptance period, little brother. The sister of her owner looked her in the eyes. I'd hate to have to wreck such a pure little face. Well, we're off to my room. Blake needs to get herself properly educated. A grin on her sister's face, one that seemed to imply many ill tidings. If you must use the whip, you should know that these pets are just waiting for the slaughter, little brother. The delicate smile on the woman's face showed that she probably held more nefarious intentions as her brother laughed. The raping bastard son of the Ark family laughed at the plight of the innocent Faunus. She wouldn't be able to abide by it.
I'm not sorry, contradict this like 15 times over. Innocent Faunus.
Innocent. Oh, trust me.
We all know that they're guilty.
Yeah.
They're guilty of all crimes.
Yeah, like it would be a lot less like, unjustifiable if it was like, they weren't trying to eat babies and shit like that.
Or yeah,
They literally they're fucking basically fucking Maya living sacrifice, kill people and shit.
Let's see that when we get to it, okay?
I know, but you're gonna have to wait 40 chapters until we get to it, so
Can we wait 40 chapters, okay? Okay.
We can see the building blocks from here. Let's go with that.
Okay, fine. God damn it.
Look, the pyramid is over there.
The pyramid? Listen, the pyramid's a few hundred clicks away, okay? We can get there eventually. It just takes time.
Alrighty.
I'm not sure whipping her is good, Auburn. The soft clicking of his sister's tongue of disappointment was bad enough. But I'll see whether I can make her feel happier. And pigs will fly, bastard! She was not going to dance to the tune of the young man, no matter what. She was a Faunus. She had pride. She was being dragged by the leash around her collar to his bedroom, away from his sister. She really gets into things. She's if you thought that Junie was bad, Auburn takes it a step further. She does things to her pets that are wrong. He looked back for a moment at his sister. She loves Hollis, though. She just doesn't really know how to express herself. I don't know how she got to well, it doesn't really matter. Blake was willing to bet that the woman was molesting innocent little Faunus, if the lesbian sister was any indication. Her ass burned still. Yes, it's because of the syphilis. Oh, Lord.
You got syphilis, Jimmy.
Yes.
Your mom gave me syphilis.
My birthday gift, syphilis.
Beautiful.
Come on,
It's Captain Diabetes. His mom farted when she gave birth to him and gave him the powers of diabetes. That's not how diabetes spreads, you asshole.
Can I do the voice? Jimmy, can you get your mom to put more anal vids on her OnlyFans?
Nice.
I get that reference.
Who the fuck said that? Oh, that poor drill sergeant.
What little fucking slimy cocksucker fucking twinkle toe motherfucker said that?
Dude, the person who did Carl Weezer's voice, I wished I fucking met him. That is the fucking best replica of his voice ever.
I need to fucking...
We need to finish this, goddammit.
Yes.
We need to finish this so we can get to the even more great stuff.
We got 3 chapters.
Well, I need to take another fucking drink. Holy shit.
Dude, just wait until we get Empress Teresa. That one's gonna be fucking great.
Oh, that's also gonna be fucking amusing. Coming to the bedroom, she noticed that a small table had been set up with some chairs around it, writing implements already put in place on the desk in the corner, the large bed looking orderly made up. Please, take a seat if you can. You can sit down, I guess. He motioned for her and the ram-horned faunus to take a seat, the man doing so without any objection, while she remained standing. Why should I follow your orders? The question came, and his face looked a little confused. The ram-horned faunus cleared his throat. Ram-horned, thank you very much. Because he is your master slave. The man's voice was strict, hitting the tone that her dad would use if she upset him. Why the references to her fucking dad everywhere?
No, this is Blake. We haven't had many references to her dad yet, but we will.
Why the references to fathers fucking everywhere?
Because I'm pretty sure whoever this lady is who wrote this in real life probably has a daddy kink, and it heavily translates over.
Courier, did you actually figure out if this author that made this is a chick or a dude? Because I was betting that it was either a fucking soy boy who's just like a gay furry, or a rainbow-haired fat piece of shit like blob of a woman, quote unquote.
Well, I mean, Kitty said this is like the writing of a woman or whatever, like the way the mannerisms and shit.
Listen, I don't think that's a fat blob of a woman. I think that this is your basic bitch teenage reject girl, more or less. You know, your main characters out of fucking Mean Girls, basically. All the girls there that are just shit on by everyone else because they're weird and kind of creepy looking, but they got hobbies of their own.
You mean the black-haired girl from Mean Girl, not the hot popular ones? Okay.
Yeah.
See, I wouldn't be surprised if this author, if it was a chick, was a fucking bunny boiler.
A what?
Bunny boiler.
What the?
You know, you've never fucking seen that story?
No.
Or like the one chick was fucking like a woman scorned or some shit, so she fucking took the dude's rabbits and fucking boiled them alive.
That is way over the fucking line, and I'm not surprised that a woman would do that.
Yep.
Like killing a man's rabbits, that is not okay.
By literally boiling them alive and recording it and sending him the video of them screaming in the pot.
That is way over the line. And the only
Yeah.
people capable of that would be absolute fucking monsters.
Never fuck with a man's bunnies. Whether they be pets or waifus, don't fuck with them.
Listen, if a woman killed my pets, I would fucking hunt her down.
Yes, we know you would.
My pets are more valuable than her. I can replace her. They can't be replaced.
Damn.
Anyways, continuing on. Okay. Because he is your master slave. Why did my voice crack in the middle of that and just stick? Okay. The man's voice was strict, hitting the tone that her dad would use if she upset him. You have no whim of your own. Your color is bond to this household. The man's words were strict, yet her owner seemed to take it in stride, seating himself opposite of the two of them at the chair. I want you to be happy, Blake. I've read books about treating your pets well. Mother really never let me have a pet. Not after. He looked away, shaking his head. It seemed to make him a little more agreeable. But I really want to make you smile. She scowled, baring her teeth. That's not a scowl. The bump on her head by Mint's hand made her teeth rattle. You are told to smile. The young master's orders are absolute. She grimaced, giving him the best smile that she could master, though her owner's face did not change. I'd like it to be genuine, Blake. I want you to enjoy your time here. I want you to be happy with your master. It was undoubtedly a ploy. Humans were evil. And you wonder why they treat you like slaves.
Pot calling the kettle black, yeah, okay.
Calling the kettle black. Okay. Okay. Just shifting my position in my leaning chair. Since I have a recliner.
Very nice.
Since humans are evil.
Evil! Evil!
It was undoubtedly a ploy. Humans were evil. They did not deserve to be treated as actually having some sort of understanding. Maybe that.
Golly gee willikers, Batman. You want equality, but you don't see the others as equal parties to yourself? Wow, that's such great logic.
I'm just going to point out that maybe that kind of thinking is what led to your people losing their fucking rights. Just gonna say, if you treat people like they're absolutely horrible, they tend to, whether it's justified or not, they end up fulfilling that prophecy no matter what.
That could apply to the show too. Just saying.
Oh yeah.
Just lose where you're reading.
Oh my lord. Who would enjoy being beaten by your bitch of a sister? Do you think it's fun to see people in chains? A blink, look. A blink. Not people. No. You're Faunus. Servitude is the better option. I think it's better with my fucking voice that I'm using.
A lot better.
Introducing the new kitchen gun.
Introducing your new dishwasher. She cooks. She cleans. And best of all, she has low maintenance. One simple pill once a month. And she is free to use at all times.
Spicy.
Stay classy.
Holy shit.
We don't have no fucking class here. This is basically like the fucking boondocks in the middle of a fucking Brazilian favela here.
Oh lord.
Let's continue.
After I take another sippy. Good old-fashioned whiskey. Always gets through the pain.
Oh, you're in pain? I'm enjoying myself.
I swear to God, we should fucking make it so that you can't have a drink while you're reading this shit, so you have to suffer sober.
What are you talking about? It's to cut through the pain of my throat. Since I'm fucking, like, talking.
Get like a cough drop or some yogurt then or something. I don't fucking know.
Yogurt? Yeah, just
Yogurt
like a dick,
works. You know? God damn it.
Anyways. How do you mean we're not people? We breathe the same air. We can fuck together. How do you mean we are not people? She raged, his face looking concerned. It's natural, isn't it? You were rebellious.
Us and horses breathe the same air, and you can also fuck a horse if you want.
I just have to say, even for how he was raised in the story and stuff, just the cognitive dissonance is fucking amazing. Like, I'm surprised this dude is able to fucking dress himself and wipe his ass.
Yeah.
Look. It's natural, isn't it? You were rebellious, so you were put in your place. The lack of understanding was there, as he shrugged. There is no use forcing you. I mean, I don't really like hurting animals. Auburn does, though. And that's why she goes away every once in a while. Holy shit!
He's just like, yeah, I know my sister probably murders them, but, who cares?
She's a psychopath that fucking tortures her pets to death. That's why she goes to prison once in a while, but we love her.
Rest in peace, Kitty.
I love my uncle. He only goes to prison once in a while for child rape.
He only rapes me once in a while.
I don't get why they overreact so often.
Yeah, he comes out of jail and then he just goes right back in after he rapes me.
You ever think in the prison he? No, I'm not going to spoil that. Let's keep going.
Oh no.
Anyways, the angry cry that erupted from her throat as she attempted to leap on him to teach him about what was right and proper was interrupted as she was slammed down and through the table. The faunus man pressing her to the ground. That is enough, young Master Ark. I ask for your forgiveness. This one has not been properly educated. The young man was still seated on the chair in front of her, The young man, still seated on the chair in front of her, merely looked at her with a sad look in his eyes. You bastard! You son of a whore! You! The look that she got was one of pity, one of feeling sorry for her. She was proud. Why would a raping bastard feel sorry for her? Because you're fucking pitiful, you stupid cat.
I'd feel bad for you too, out of pity.
I wouldn't feel bad for her. I just want to torture her, but that's just me because I hate Blake. Anyway, keep going.
The door opened. Well, I guess it's better to train you with June's help. Don't worry, Blake. I'll take good care of you. You're going to be a good girl. She spat at him, the spit dripping down his shoe. The door opened and someone entered, even as she took a deep breath. You'll never tame me. No faunus should serve a human. Oh. The voice was enough to make the man's hand quiver as it kept her pinned, the sight of a set of heels coming into view. Little brother, can I have her? She'll make the nicest sounds when she's properly been brought to heel. The voice of Auburn Ark came, even as her owner looked down at her.
Also, I swear Auburn is a reference to another ship name, but I'll find out later.
Father was still upset about thunder. Wait. Father was still upset about thunder, Auburn. Whatever did you do to it? The soft titter of a giggle came from the woman as Blake looked up, seeing the blonde hair and smile that looked about as sane as a nutter in the nut house. You might as well just say a fucking patient in the asylum. Christ!
Oh my god, it is a reference to it's not ship name, it's a reference to one of the one-off teams.
Oh, lovely. Absolutely.
From the Vital Festival?
Yes, the first team they fight.
Who the fuck were they? I forget.
Kung Fu chick, T-pose guy.
Was it the chick with the sniper rifle?
No, skateboard chick.
I thought that was Team... No, wait, that wasn't Team Funky. I don't know.
Auburn was the one that had the one chick who was basically a fucking, basically a TIE fighter.
Yeah, T-pose man.
TIE fighter versus TIE fighter.
The one with the skate. Oh, okay, I got it. I got you now. You're good. All right.
I'm just gonna point out this is fucking dumb.
Wow, you're just now noticing that. How drunk are you?
Anyways. Looking about as nutter as a nut in a nut house. I'm not gonna let that go. It's fucking stupid and terrible verbiage.
Yes. Because we both know, all of us know that this person is basically fucking illiterate half the time.
We're both garbage.
Just a few things. Marin and I had a little party. She couldn't really resist much. The look on the master's face was a little queasy, even as the ram-horned man shuddered without intending to. It's going to be okay, little brother. I'll bring her back home, mostly intact. Nothing too broken. Really, Marin took it all, but she broke. No, Abby. Bad. The look on the woman's face was pouting as she pressed her lips together. But I want to see if she can do it. They're animals. It's what they're worth. Sure, they start foaming at the mouth, and sometimes, when it's a bit too tough, they die. But you can always buy more. The disturbed glance that he gave to his sister was enough, even as he sighed. Talk to Juniper. She's with my other pet. Maybe she's got an idea. The sister slowly strolled out of the room, singing a little ditty that Blake faintly recognized as a march of some sort. She's not very well mentally. Dad said that she was an early birth and that things went a little wrong. But she's healthy and happy most of the time. She'd never she'd never hurt anyone.
Is the fact that he's very much aware that she's basically fucking insane and nobody fucking cares.
Nobody cares, yeah.
Hey, she was an early bird, but she seems happy most of the time. Holy shit.
Let's ignore that.
Like, I know she skins people and like fucking wears them like fucking robes and shit, but you know, it's perfectly fine.
Okay.
She doesn't skin people, alright? She skins faunas. Get that right.
Yeah, faunas aren't people. Anyways, let's ignore that and go to the next fucking part where it says, and I quote, and I fucking quote here, she'd never hurt anyone. Yeah, fucking right.
Faunas aren't anyone. They're just animals.
They're objects,
right?
Especially the female ones.
Yeah.
Just talking about her as if she's just slightly kooky is saying, oh yeah, Charles II of Spain? Yeah, he was just slightly off the normal scale, you know?
Yeah, you know Nero or of Rome, Caligula. Yeah, those guys were kind of weird, weren't they?
Actually, I got some nuclear fucking takes on Nero and Caligula. So,
no, we don't want to hear them. Keep going. We got to finish this tonight, man.
Oh God, keep going.
What I discovered recently.
No, keep going.
Nero and Caligula.
God damn it, Kitty, keep fucking reading.
Were two of
read
the only
for us, you torture slut.
Roman emperors who were populists. The people liked Nero and Caligula. They were beloved by the people, in fact. You know who didn't like them?
Jews?
The ruling class.
The consuls?
Yes, and the Senate. All those people didn't like Nero and Caligula. So, guess who writes the fucking history books? It's the people who know how to read and write. The ruling class. That's why we think right now that they were the most terrible fucking leaders in Roman history. Because everything that we get about them is from the people who hated them and thought that they were the... Okay, stop fucking playing the copyrighted music or I'll mute you.
Sorry.
Holy shit,
Is
you're
that
getting me...
copyrighted?
Yes, it's copyrighted. Jesus
I didn't know
Christ.
Why
they
is
still
it
used
copyrighted?
Why is it copyrighted?
Because they still use it.
I didn't know the show was still on.
It's been going for...
Wow, the fucking dude who runs that show must be like, basically the fucking crypt keeper, apparently.
He had cancer and recovered from it last year.
Alex Trebek.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
He's a good guy. Alex Trebek is nice. He just hosts the show. He doesn't fucking own it or whatever. I don't know.
Why do you sound disappointed?
Because I just kind of was like, oh, he didn't die. And then come back as a corpse and run the show as a fucking zombie. Fucking crypt keeper looking motherfucker. He's like that fucking one dude who runs Saturday Night Live, or who used to.
Kurt Cobain, the one who shot himself in the head.
No, you're fucking confusing everybody.
Let's just continue before he confuses everyone else.
Please
yes,
do.
keep going.
Please.
Keep reading, torture slut.
We have to get to chapter 7, God damn it.
Anyways, young Master Ark, allow me to bring this little ingrate to the pens. She has been trying to agitate against your family, and Mistress Juniper has instituted higher production quotas. The frown on his face was not pleased. Do you have enough food? I tried asking the kitchen whether they could give you some of the leftovers from the feast, but apparently they binned them. The man hesitated. Blake supposed it was normal, considering the bastards continued to abuse their fawn as slaves. We have been put at half rations, Mr. Ark. It is no issue at all, and we... The young man walked over to the desk, scribbling something down on a piece of paper. He looked over it before using the pen to put in several more scribbly bits. See? See? Now where did I put that? He rummaged around the desk, pulling out a small ring of some sort. That's not how a seal works. Before he pressed it against the paper. There! Then she saw the scribbling. Kiffen, Bragen the father's fad, 1.5 Radens, fire some perfect. Find, lie down, ach.
That's not how being able to read a language you don't know works. I don't look at fucking Japanese and able to make out a rough translation of Japanese, goddammit.
You don't?
No, I don't fucking know Japanese. I'm not a full-class weeaboo. I'm only a beginner-level weeaboo.
Soka.
Domo arigato, Mr. Roboto.
I don't even know what the fuck that means other than roboto. God damn it.
Soka. Soda.
Oh no, you're making Kitty flex his weeaboo-ness.
I know what Zawaldo means, and I know that fucking Omna, you know.
I should fucking
whatever.
I should fucking hope you know what the world means. Jesus Christ.
Fuck,
It's
God
fucking
damn it.
English, damn it. Anyways, she couldn't make heads or tails from it, yet Mint accepted. Do bring that to the kitchen for me. Juniper is a little overzealous. She's got about as much sense of humor as a cat does with a sense of being a dog. Blake could admit to that being true. Do take Blake with you. She can carry the food. I mean, I don't think we're gonna get very far with her learning anything with the table being a mess. He just pulled something out of the compartments in the table, and the table was smashed. I don't understand. Fucking magic. It went from being destroyed to being fixed to being destroyed again. All where the plot demands. Anyways, continuing on. You have no idea how lucky you are that you weren't heard discussing something like that with the young master, girl. The Ramphunus said as they walked, the man's hand holding the collar in a grip that choked her air off with every little shift. He is kind and somewhat understanding, even if a little misinformed, and you would shatter that with your debates and your fire. The look of disbelief on her face must have told him something as the man sighed. To be trusted with the protection of the young master is a great honor than most would receive, girl. To be taught human things. He's making an effort to bring you benefits, yet you spit in his face. If he was anything like young Master Winchester, you would be treated far less kindly. She didn't think that the rapist could be anything less than a human. What? His sisters were wicked and cruel. This was not how a woman was supposed to be treated. Yeah, feminism doesn't exist in this fucking world, apparently.
Good.
Just be
They're
careful.
better off.
Just be careful, girl. We don't appreciate the upset you're causing. Life is decent here. Better than elsewhere. With those words, the man led the way, leaving her master behind. She followed after the woman. She followed after the woman with the proprietary 6 steps. Juniper Ark leading her through the house, noting all the important rooms. A task that could have been given to any slave, yet the woman seemed to take it as a personal mission. And this is the additional storage cupboard, where most of the silverware is kept, or so I've been told. Sure thing, Mistress Juniper. The woman seemed to have an issue with expressing herself fondly, though she caught the crease of the eyes that showed approval. I mean, of course, Lady Juniper. The smirk broke through as the woman nodded. That's the proper form. Now, most of the women who will be in attendance will care for proper decorum. You may be the one who is directly under the supervision of my brother, yet know that we will punish missteps. There was gritting of the woman's teeth, the weapon pulled a little closer. I promise, Lady Juniper, I will not shame my master. It was not polite, nor did she feel the need to comment on it. Juniper Arc looked at her and closed her eyes, exhaling softly. I don't know why. Ah, hell. Who gives a damn? Faunus laws are flouted all the time. At least now one of the mongrels knows how to behave. The woman seemed to mutter to herself as she opened those eyes and looked at her. It is really out of the ordinary that you are being taught the high speech that nobility uses, you know. It was perhaps a moment of pride for her, yet to the woman it seemed like a flash of annoyance. I can keep that secret, but only because my brother wishes me to. But never let anyone know that you were taught the high speech. It's technically not illegal, yet we switch to it sometimes to better convey concepts.
So they're implying they have a superior like they're implying they have a second language for the nobility, right?
Yes.
Oh, isn't it like a Warhammer thing? It's like, what is it,
No.
Low Gothic and High Gothic?
No, any society that has a defined a higher class will have a special language.
That was a thing quite often until specific points in history. So, usually it boiled down mainly to dialects. Though for a long time, say in, here's one. In France, you had Frankish and you had Latin. Latin was spoken by the nobility and higher classes, while Frankish was spoken by everybody. Frankish then ended up turning into French after merging with Latin. It happened the same way with English in the British Isles, where you had Saxon, English, and Latin. They merged into one language, kind of. That ended up becoming English. Other countries, it's a little bit different. So Saxon evolved significantly and turned into German eventually.
Man, you really don't want to read this story.
No, I enjoy discussions of etymology here.
I know,
discussions of stuff in general.
We have to get through this bullshit, though.
I know. Anyways, continuing on. It was an explanation, even as Juniper Arc looked at her with a look that was half sour and half serious. I don't know what you've got about you, but if Jean thinks you're a good faunus, good enough to pluck off the streets and get your crotch scrubbed by a vet, I'll give you some trust.
Oh yeah, we're talking about Yang now. By the way, I fucking forgot. Character switching.
Yeah, it's Yang.
Shit.
Betray it, and you get the bullet. The threat was real as the woman's frown. The threat was real as the woman's frown on her face. First, that phrasing, you should have a comma after the real. But if you wanted to remain with that comma, actually, you shouldn't have a comma at all, and it should have different phrasing, but if it were to be correct,
also, everything's wrong.
Everything's wrong.
It should be written as the threat was as real as the woman's frown. Full stop.
That's still a bad sentence, but yeah, that's grammatically correct.
It's grammatically correct. This is just bad. When one of the family asks you to fetch something for them, you do it. You may be excluded from some tasks due to being my younger brother's pet, but do not think that you are allowed to grow fat from the pampering that he undoubtedly will give you. But maybe he likes fat chicks. You don't know. Don't kink shame.
Don't touch it.
No kink shaming.
We don't kink shame, no.
This is an equal opportunity podcast. We hate everybody.
Yeah.
We hate everyone equally.
Yep.
Some people we hate not so
for
equally.
except for the faunus. We hate them especially. But yeah, keep going.
Hold up. They aren't people, so we don't have... You can't hate an object, after all.
You're right. I'm sorry. I'm not thinking like a proper human. Sorry. Keep going.
You're not thinking like a proper human.
A proper human.
You aren't thinking like a person. You're thinking like a
Frenchman.
empathetic creature.
Frenchman.
No, the French are lacking empathy as well. Come on, get it right.
All right. You're not thinking like a degenerate, like a German.
There we go.
You need to think like a German. Come on.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Let's suppress the faunus, yeah?
Oh yeah.
We must secure a future for the faunus children. And
We must
lads-
put those yellow stars on the faunus. Yeah.
Oh, you're terrible people, and I love it.
Let's continue.
Yes. You're not allowed to grow fat from the pampering he will undoubtedly give you. The clicking of a weapon was audible as it punctuated that statement. There are rules. We are expecting a guest, and you will attend her. Give Lady Fall a polite bow if we meet her before you are to the receiving room. I have demonstrated for you before waiting... as I have demonstrated for you, before waiting in the room with her whilst I fetch my brother. It is important that refreshments must be offered, yet you should not offer when it is not requested. What?
Sentencing? I get that she's just... I still assume this is a fucking woman, but I'm just assuming that she's like just trying to fill out as much space as possible, but you can at least just do basic grammar.
Here's the thing. You will not offer them any. You are to offer them things, but you're not going to offer them unless they talk to you, unless they demand that you give them a thing. Meaning, you're not to offer them anything, but you're there to offer them something.
Maybe she's intentionally giving her a catch-22. You never know.
I don't understand this, man. I don't get it.
La 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 la.
When she stands there confused, I win.
It makes no sense, man. Why?
You didn't come here for sense, you came here for enjoyment. Are you enjoying yourself?
No.
Then you aren't winning. Enjoy yourself harder.
No.
We came here to enjoy it, so you must enjoy it, otherwise you're failing.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Okay. Let's get this party. Keep going. Why do I have a bug crawling up my wall?
Because you're a bitch.
Oh.
It smells bitch in the air and it's come to see you.
Oh boy. Oh, and don't mind the clamor in the background. Somebody is coming in and out of my house.
Somebody's clapping their cheeks real hard in the background. I'm so sorry. Keep going.
It is important that refreshments be offered, yet you should not offer when it is not requested. She is to be your owner's wife upon the date of their marriage, and she has decided to appear now, whilst mother is away. The woman's instructions were very precise, even as they walked through the house. The heels that Yang wore made a soft tapping sound, each stride as elegant as it always had been, bringing with it the sensation of being useful. Ah, little sister. Wait. Ah, little sister. And a dear. The happy sound of a woman reached her ears as she came face to face with a young woman, slightly younger looking in the face than Juniper Ark did, her eyes glinting. Can I take her? She looks like she'd be a great toy for the dogs.
Jesus Christ, please calm down, woman. I know you want to fuck the dogs, but goddamn.
I know that she's got a fucking canine fetish, but Jesus Christ, tone down the zoophilia. Holy shit.
Again, this writer just keeps repeating every single point, and I hate it so much.
I mean, if they're trying to emphasize that the person has a fucking obsession with doggy dick, then they're doing it.
No, that's not the thing. They do this for every little fucking thing. For gender, for reactions, for their fetishes, everything is just repeated over and over and over again. I get that these are requests, and this writer clearly doesn't have a penchant for what she's writing. Otherwise, she'd actually put some actual effort into it. But Jesus Christ, please at least act like you have some heart in this.
I just have to say that the person who writes these has less self-respect than the Wonder Bread guy.
Yeah.
Oh, the Wonder Bread guy. That is a story for another day. Okay, I'm gonna be right back. Give me 5 fucking seconds, because somebody turned on the lights in my room here.
Oh no, not the lights!
I need darkness for this. As there
I need...
Turn off the fucking light, you little fucking dingleberry motherfucker.
Darkness is
The reading tortured goblin needs his darkness.
Yes.
It hides his shame.
I require the shadows so that I can maintain my sanity. For it is in the light that I lose it. I hear the clickety-clack of European keyboards.
Yes, I was quoting you.
Oh boy.
I'm currently fighting a pitched naval battle, so if you hear my clacking, I apologize.
It occurs to me that I actually haven't played fucking video games in like 2 days.
Oh no.
Nice.
Horrible, isn't it?
It is. It is absolutely fucking horrible. Anyways. I'd rather not be around dogs, though. This is John's pet Auburn. The one that behaves. The woman known as Auburn now, and probably surnamed Ark, looked disappointed. Aw, but Lady Fall is to arrive. What will you do, Junie Woony? Oh, cringe!
Junie Woony.
That just reminds me of when I called Corper Corpy.
Yeah, now he's gonna fucking kill you.
The twitch in the other woman's cheek was enough to show her annoyance with the nickname as her gaze roved around looking for something to focus on. Greet her and then guide her to the guest room. Take your pills, Auburn. I won't have you disgrace the family name. Take your schizophrenia pills, bitch. Take your meds. I don't want you making a fool of us. Take your fucking pills.
This family is fucking broken as shit.
No fucking shit there, Jimmy.
I haven't
Just
seen a
noticed.
family this broken since I looked into the fucking Bidens. Jesus Christ.
Woo!
Topical.
Very. Actually, there might be more similarities going on than you think.
Oh no, please
Oh
don't.
no. Oh no.
Somebody's gonna get sniffed.
Somebody's gonna get a fucking CIA break-in. The glowies are coming, man. The glowies are coming. You can see them in the dark.
Climb through your window.
You see them on the roads, you run them over. It's what you do.
Mm-hmm.
Snatching your people up.
Rest in peace, Terry A. Davis. He sent a lot of CIA glowies to heaven.
Taken from us too soon.
Before the CIA actually breaks down our door, let's continue.
Yes, let's continue. The woman nodded a few times, smiling brightly as she
I thought you said nutted.
The woman nutted a few times, smiling brightly as she moved along, humming some nameless tune. Yang's steps hurrying after Juniper Ark. So, Mistress Juniper, Where do you want me to just, stand in the room and wait? The woman glanced at her and nodded. Yes, that was all. It was not an issue of class or anything, yet Yang could deal with a little bit of serving some woman. It wasn't much different. This fucking bug. It wasn't much different from, whether you spread your legs or spread some fresh sheets over a bed.
What?
I don't get it either, but okay.
Alright, weird flex, but alright.
I mean, if you're taking 20 dicks, you spread 20 sheets, basically the same thing, you know?
Mm-hmm.
30
One
minutes.
hurts more than the other.
If it hurts, then you're doing something wrong.
Have you ever
Anyways,
had sex?
I mean, it usually hurts because I got a vice grip, you know? The gorilla grip pussy.
Gorilla grip pussy.
Gorilla grip pussy.
People are gonna be so fucking confused listening to
Good.
this.
I was. By the way, I was joking not about the sucks part, but about the taking 20 dicks part. If it's not obvious enough, so.
Yeah, that's also the funniest thing. I invited my friend Henrik to listen in on this, and then he literally was just like, "This is horrible. The person who wrote this should get a job."
Hey, this is their job. They get paid to do this.
Yeah.
And it
They
is
get
fucking
paid.
horrible.
They get paid more for doing this than Kitty ever will making a book.
And that's sad.
Yeah, like basically, it's the self-respect of the Wonder Bread guy. Just throw away your self-respect as an artist and draw Wonder Bread.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just doing this anyways. 30 minutes after she had been led into the room by Juniper and receiving some firmly worded instructions, the door opened again and 2 women entered. One of them was the Lady Juniper, whilst the other was an elegantly garbed woman whose dress was the color of blood, worked with golden thread. What? Worked with golden thread. Threat.
Red da 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 da.
It's a fucking D that should be there, dickhead.
Ba 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 ba.
Oh my lord. Have la blastat for la baranda, Juniper. The speech was awkward to listen to. The knowledge of some of the words enough to translate some sentences to her mind, and not just waiting. Sit, Dewanta, Cinder. My brother will be here soon. Wait,
Brother.
my brother will be here soon.
Brother, I'm bit here.
My brother will be here soon, man.
My brother will be here soon.
My brother will be fucking you right in the pussy.
The woman gave a little indication of noticing her as she sat herself down on the comfortable chair, her dialogue with the sister of the master done swiftly. I can't really do a good accent, so I'm going back.
How you do, Jamaican man?
How you doing, man?
Oh, I'm doing fine, man.
One of the electronic devices was pulled out and the data was being input onto it. He eyes
Put onto it.
He eyes glancing curiously at the letters. Ata akhoz. Plana goes wall. Plana goes wall. Okay.
Again, I refuse to think that you guys referring to Curry and Captain actually read this. You skimmed through the shit. You didn't read this.
You didn't
I
read
know.
this.
We read enough to fucking read the plot, and the plot was what made me lose my mind. I wasn't even paying
Also,
attention to the
I did actually fucking read this shit all the way through. I was just usually taking a shit while I was doing it because I had nothing else better to do.
Yeah, so you're skimming through it. You didn't actually take time to read every single sentence.
No.
The letters made little sense, yet her master had told her that she was a bright girl. The woman tapping in more letters. She wasn't sure what they meant, but she'd ask the master if they meant something. Give me a drink, animal. The finger snap that was given was loud, even as she was jerked from her thoughts. Be the humble girl. She poured a glass of wine for the woman, smelling the strong scent of the alcoholic beverage with her nose, and handing it to the woman, who looked at it for an instant before flicking the glass, the splash of wine over her body enough. It didn't appeal to me the way that you poured. Pour me some more, animal. The dismissive behavior was what she was used to. She could imagine Blake already being halfway on a rant about indignation, even as she nodded. "Yeah, my lady," she said in the humblest tone that she could muster, her hands pouring a humble glass of... What the fuck is a humble glass? A humble glass of wine for the woman, who looked at it and nodded. "Serviceable. I should recommend father-in-law to put you animals through a program to better allow you to serve." You're not married yet, thought.
What?
The woman spoke as if it was already as good as done on the engagement, that the engagement would go through. At this moment in time, she'd halfway expect that the young master of the house would be abducted by some sort of evil creature of the sort, before the knight would be sent to punish whatever creature had abducted him.
This is painful.
"If you think it is best, Lady Cinder." She was respectful even as the woman kicked her. The hit...
Disrespect the guy, like the chick that just kicked you.
The hit cushioned by her clothing, yet she behaved as if it had been stronger, stumbling a little. "I always think what is best, animal." The words were so often heard, even as the device seemed to ring like a bell. "Away with you. I require privacy." "Lady Juniper's not given me permission to leave, ma'am." The polite tones which she used were enough for most interactions with those of higher standing, the woman giving a shrug. "Very well. It would be rude of me to dismiss you immediately." There was a pause as the woman did something with the device. "I am at the place." The language was very confusing to the ears, she found, as the words just seemed to curl. She caught very little intonation, memorizing them in order to learn things better. It was important to learn things. Her dad had taught her a few moves in order to defend herself, so it was okay, she guessed.
I'm sure he did.
Yes, I too think karate.
Baby.
The woman put the device down again, turning her gaze to her. "Offer me the selection of cakes, animal." She bowed her head, even though the wine had stained her clothing, the carpet not showing a single stain on it, thanks to her quick actions. "What?"
That's gonna stain no matter how well you clean that shit.
No, I think she's saying that she, instead of the wine spilling on the floor, instead she like blocked it and it spilled it on her.
That's a really weird way of describing it.
Yeah, I don't fucking know. I'm trying to fix this shit in my head.
I don't get it. I don't understand it. I'm not gonna try to fix it for the author, because that's the author's problem. She walked to the side table, on which there had been several cakes arrayed, the sweet smells something that she was unused to, even as she looked at them, unsure which was which. "Ma'am?" she asked, the woman's face showing dissatisfaction. "Obviously you cannot read. Very well, the yellow one." The cake looked like it was made out of some yellow jelly of sorts. Then it's not a cake. With the crust made from something hard. That is not a cake, it's a pie. Pulling one of the silver spades out, she put it's a fucking pie!
Oh my god, a pie!
She put a slice onto a plate and then turned to the lady. "I know some things. Do you want me to add whipped cream, ma'am?" The short nod and the woman returning to her scroll was enough, as she placed the cake in front of the woman. A fork laid beside it. It had been one of the things that Juniper had taught her about etiquette, something that most servant faunus would know. She would be a good servant, Faunus, if it made the master happy. See, this is a good loyal woman. Much better than this thought. The door opened, and Juniper and the young master of the household appeared. Yang had only eyes for him, even as Juniper made a gesture with her hand for her to get out. Yang's eyes catching sight of the strange device in Cinder's hands as she let her gaze meet with her master's, a little smile on her lips as she passed him by. Ah, Cinder, what a joyous surprise! He spoke the common language, her hand on the doorknob, turning it slowly as she pulled through. Cinder did not look happy that she was being addressed like that. She'd have to ask the master something later if he wanted to see her. So, I am going to give the author one thing here. Trying to set up a fucking plot that isn't just rape fantasy. They're not doing it well.
I was about to say, this was a lackluster fucking plot setup, Jesus Christ.
They're not doing it well, but they're attempting at all. Which makes it better than most fan fictions that are for titillation.
Most fanfiction attempts some kind of plot, even the tentacle rape does so. So that's not something you should praise them for.
I'm going to praise them for the attempt, because the attempt makes things marginally more interesting.
An attempt was made.
An attempt was made.
Even if it's a bad attempt, an attempt is an attempt. Anyways, let's continue. He looked at the woman who was his intended... That's a turn of phrase I have not heard.
Hey, the Holocaust was an attempt. It was a bad attempt, but it was an attempt.
Oh, Jesus Christ, man. The dress...
Hey, you set it up.
The dress that she wore, skimping the boundaries of what was acceptable for courting young men and women. She's not young. She's 29.
Plenty young.
But she can fucking pass as a high schooler or whatever in the show, so it's all good, baby. Don't worry.
Now remember, this is medieval society where women were considered fucking old enough, like too old if they were like above 25.
Wow, they have smartphones and miniguns and fucking battle aircraft carrier ships, motherfucker.
I know. But still, they claim this to be a medieval society, and still they got fucking guns.
Yes, and also just make sure that you don't forget, man. Every woman claims to be under 18, or at 18, or under 18, because they're just insecure about how old they really are.
The reason Cinder managed to pass for a fucking child was because they were too afraid to ask her age.
Yeah, just because women are fucking explode violently anytime they're
asked. I can imagine too. It's just like, and how old are you, Miss Cinder? And then she just fucking like makes like these little Nicote claws or something like out of metal and just scrapes it across the table. And she says, "Do you want to repeat the question?"
That would be realistic.
Yeah.
Anyways, too much thigh, too little cover for the breasts. A pleasure to meet you as well, young Master Ark. The societal status that this would afford the family would propel them to a dominant position amongst the Valian society to control the policies of the kingdom. Why would you get an older woman if you have one son? You would try to get like a girl who's fucking 14. Jesus.
No, clearly you want an older woman. That's a good idea when you only have one kid left.
One son who is going to be marrying a woman with questionable fertility. Fucking brilliant.
And bad manners.
Brilliant.
Fucking brilliant. The genius writing of someone who clearly understands fucking feudal politics, right?
Really?
I prefer the common speech when it's just us. It gets mightily frustrating having to work with the vowels like that. The ill-amused look on her face spoke volumes. At least Blake shows her dislike for me. Of course. I find myself asking sometimes why even bother. The look that his sister sent at the woman was cautious. We've got the advantage here. I have heard through the grapevine that you've managed to obtain the rights to several slaves, young Master Ark. The question hung in the air as Cinder's eyes flashed with curiosity, his own smile a little simpler, something that Juniper had coached him on. She cared a lot for him, just like Saffron did. It was an eyesore, seeing prostitutes strolling the streets, so I obtained their rights and have them put to work. So I obtained their rights and have put them to work. Every faunus needs to have some use in society, right? The official policy was like that, though he had really not minded having a conversation with Yang yesterday. She was fun. She had that little spark in her that made him get a little giddy when she didn't understand something bold enough to... ... Indeed. I did not expect the Lady Azalea to be absent from the home. Is your father still well? The questions were not really questions that were to be asked in polite society, yet Juniper kept her silence, as did he. He was technically the head of the household when his mother wasn't around. The note that he'd given to Mint and Blake was to make sure that the faunus had a good dinner for once. It was wrong to mistreat one's pets, even if they produced the majority of the... What? It was wrong to mistreat one's pets, even if they produced the majority of income for the farms that the family owned. The phrasing there is fucked. It should be written, it was wrong to mistreat one's pets, especially if they produced the majority of the income from which the farms that the family owned.
Wouldn't you want to treat them well if they were producing most of the income?
Yes. In fact, you generally want your laborers to be quite happy, because if they aren't, you risk rebellions.
Yeah.
That's also in the fact, too, that also leads to them having lower production. That's the whole fucking thing of the Egyptians. They didn't actually own a lot of slaves. The ones who built the pyramids were paid workers.
Mm-hmm.
That was how pretty much every society worked or functioned. They preferred using wage labor, but would default to slaves if they had no options for wage labor.
I swear we're always going to come back to, this is not how slavery works.
I mean, when you study it, you'll learn a lot.
I mean, it probably all started when one Egyptian just saw tents and stuff, and he looked at him and, hey, it's for...
You cut out for most of that.
You cut out real bad.
Oh,
and
sorry.
all we heard was tss and
It's basically the one Egyptian just was walking in the desert, and then he's seen all these little Hebrews and stuff, and then he turns to the camera and says, "It's free real estate."
Fair enough.
Fair enough, yeah.
Family owned. It's not an issue. We've got food to spare. He just wished that Blake would behave. Perhaps he should have thought a little before getting Yang, though it wasn't something that he would really dismiss. Getting Yang was a benefit in his mind. She was a smart girl, and she was bold and cheerful, with that little touch of actually looking just like an average human girl. Except for, the horns.
And the unnatural hair. Just used to glow in the dark.
The hair is not unnatural, it's just blonde.
And
we'll get to that.
And the talons that she'll get later on, ignore those.
Dovahkiin.
Right,
that was not a request for you to start singing.
Oh.
Especially when you can't fucking hold the tune.
We're still not done with this fucking chapter yet.
I know. Let's try to bum rush the rest of it in half an hour.
Alright.
And then we can do something else. Average human girl. They were just simple animals, though. Saffron had often commented about it during dinner in the hearing of Terra, who had been properly modified. They weren't supposed to really have such feelings. They were just defected. Anna had been defect as well, or so he'd heard. I wonder what happened to her. She must have... Wait. I wonder what happened to her. She must have been a little scared thanks to the new workload. He doesn't know what happened to her. Dumbass. He is very well. He should come home in a few days. I will inform him that you inquired after his health. The man appreciated a good story, even if it was boring. Oftentimes, the man would tell him tales about his exploits on the fields outside of Vale, hunting Grim and being excited. Fucking being excited. I will tell stories of being excited.
Jesus Christ. Oh, he enjoyed stories even if they were boring. If they were good stories, they're not boring.
A boring story is not a good story.
Exactly.
I mean, just look at this.
Fair enough.
They had denied his dream to enter Beacon Academy, citing the impending marriage. It was the thing to do for a young upper class to wed. How quaint. Thank you. Cinder patted the seat next to her, her eyes looking at him with a smoldering look. Do sit next to me. A hand rose and fell. Some distance is to be maintained, Miss Fall. I am his chaperone. Cinder's face seemed to fall for an instant, clearly not liking that thought. He felt slightly relieved. Yeah, thought, I know, right? He felt slightly relieved at the thought that he didn't have to sit next to her. It just made his skin crawl a little. Holy shit, he does not like this girl.
I mean, from an appearance standpoint, it's not like she's ugly. I mean, she's very clearly evil looking, but she's not ugly looking, so...
I mean, yeah, basically, it's kind of like she's just sitting there cackling in the corner. She's fucking running a knife that's poisoned through her fingers and just being like making stabbing motions at him. He's like, I don't want to sit with her.
What's the problem with a little bit of evil, okay? As long as they're good, wholesome waifus. It's okay for evil.
Damn straight, sir. Damn straight.
Anyways.
Equality and quality is the same thing.
Yeah, you know? How quaint. Thank you. Oh, wait, no. Made his skin crawl a little. Ah, yes. Will you be attending the festivities this month? I would love if you spared me a dance. He smiled the best that he could. For a moment, he wished that it'd be Ruby who was asking him for a dance, rather than Cinder. Ruby was nice. She was a little younger, yes, but it would be her debut. Lady Rose was also a good woman who did not mince words.
Lady Rose? Oh my god, he's screaming of her fucking mom.
Of course, Cinder. Of course, Cinder. He could see that. He could see her face twitch, his sister noticing as well. She doesn't want to be addressed by her first name. It wasn't a big issue, he supposed, yet she was acting awfully impertinent. He didn't make a fuss about it, yet she had clearly crossed a barrier or two. Please, I should be heading off soon. My chauffeur and my maid are currently engaged with refurbishment of the car. Some horrid little shop where they let the animals walk and work. Disgusting. The woman's sneer just sat wrong with him. The whole picture might be a bright blossom to see, yet something just felt off. She seemed to be waiting on him to condemn it as well. He noticed Yes. Imagine them being given actual rights. They needed...
Human rights, am I right?
They needed to be guided. They were like infants, unable to tell the world what they really needed, a perversion of nature, or at least that's what the books and stories told. They had been beaten and subjugated. They lost. Humanity won. The thought of Yang as a human girl. You find the thought of that amusing, young Master Ark. The question came even as he shook himself out of his daze, his eyes focusing on Cinder again. No, I was simply thinking about wedding stuff. That was as good an excuse as any, even as she made a face of interest, a smile that was warm and friendly on her face. No, it's gonna be on her ass, right?
On her ass.
Do you want...
The trash man.
Do you expect children immediately? I'm not sure whether I'd be up for it just yet. You're 29, bitch. You don't got much time left.
I'm not ready yet.
I just need to start
Time's running out.
Default Fortnite dancing. No eggs. You don't have any eggs. Empty egg carton.
I'm just gonna point out, she's in the fucking phase of ready to settle down in the form of that fucking meme where it's like, what is it? It's a recycling bin that's got a thin slit, and it's like looking or exploring herself, and then it's got a wide open garbage can, and it said ready to settle down. She's in the fucking second stage of that, but she still doesn't want kids. Come on, you're 29.
Guys,
thought.
If I suddenly leave, that's because the power in my apartment went out. I'm just letting you know now.
Okay.
All right.
The lights started flickering.
As long as you got a surge protector, you should be okay.
God is just saying, okay, it's time for you fuckers to go to bed.
No.
This is
Courier.
making baby Jesus cry.
No, only Courier, you know? Only Courier. Anyways, continuing on. I hope to get at least 7. I mean, my sisters all want to be a godmother. You're not getting 7 out for crusty fucking pussy. He smiled, even as Cinder turned her gaze away. Juniper squeezed his side before she turned back. I mean, twins aren't exactly... Yes, they are. Twins aren't exactly uncommon, and you know how inheritance goes. Cinder knew that very well, he'd imagine. The only female heir to the Fall family, there to be wed to the Ark, to pop out a few babies and rejuvenate the bloodline. Of course, my dear fiancé. The hope in her voice was there, even as her eyes seemed to smile at him. I'm not even going to say it.
Do it.
That's not how you fucking conjugate that sentence.
Actually, I think it's just my lamp that's dying. Never mind, guys. We're all good.
The lamp's dying. I'm about to die.
Her voice is hopeful, and she is smiling at him. But that is the conjugation of a negative there. The hope in her voice was there, even as blank. So, if it were to be proper use of that conjugation, it'd be even as her eyes scowled. It'd be some kind of negative to counteract the positive. So it'd seem like her true feelings are breaking out. That's the purpose of that sentence structure there.
Fuck it, I'm just gonna switch lights. I need to get a new light bulb for this fucking thing.
Or just don't use any lights, you know? Turn them off.
Just live in the darkness.
Live in the
Gideon.
darkness. I enjoy the darkness. The darkness fuels me. I was born in the darkness, and I return to the darkness.
Okay.
Yes, day 23. I live in the trash. I breathe trash.
The trash...
You
the
were
trash...
born in the darkness. I was living in it, molded by it.
It's supposed to be
fucking hell.
Bane.
Yeah,
Yes.
I can't. I never fucking watched the movie, so I don't know what he sounds like.
He sounds like Sean Connery talking through Optimus Prime's voice box.
You were born in the darkness. I lived in it, breathed it, embraced the darkness, and the darkness became me.
Darkness shoved its hand right up my ass.
It diddled my prostate a little bit.
It was very exciting.
Oh, God.
Give me a little bit of a
Hey,
hard-on.
they said that the dark was rising. Just didn't have to be the night.
See, the dark is actually the nickname for his, his pocket snake. I think it is time for you to be on your way, Lady Fall. My younger brother has to prepare for his dancing classes in order to sate your desire for a dance. Stop restating the fucking thing, Christ almighty.
Was there more to this, or was that all just his dancing class and his love for dance?
The curt dismissal was something that Juniper would take the fall for, even as Cinder nodded her head. It would be rude to allow him to embarrass me at the dance. You don't need to fucking say it! He followed behind Cinder, the most modest distance kept. Juniper in the front, he spotted Yang standing by the door, holding it open for him. Cinder sweeping past them. She gave him a little smile before she straightened up, his eyes glancing at her features for a little longer. Indeed, I would, want to, He stumbled over the words as Cinder continued, not really responding to him as she should. Her behavior is a little uncouth. Here's another thing about internal monologues. Or I guess something that I'm going to say about internal monologues. Don't fucking use them if they're not necessary.
Yeah.
You don't need to narrate, oh, her behavior is uncouth from the character's perspective using an internal monologue. It's fucking obvious from how she's acting.
And
Now,
it's also
listen,
into the
Katie,
fact,
what-
too, is that when people use internal monologues, they don't fucking make it so that you can understand it's an internal fucking monologue.
Now, you see, guys, they have just made an entirely new way of describing how characters feel.
Yeah, it's
It's just
fucking
not-
stating it out of fucking nowhere at the worst possible times, right?
Brilliant! What will they think of next?
Maybe they'll be a little bit more subtle with it in the future.
Subtlety is for the weak. Is that right, Captain?
How much velvet porn are you sending me? Jesus Christ, Cap.
What is
Just
with
in the
you
middle of
people
this.
and your fucking horniness? Jesus Christ, man.
Fucking look
Hey.
at Cap, man. He's the one fucking spamming me with fucking porn over here.
Stop putting it everywhere. Holy shit, man.
I spam him with that. I spam him with shit that he needs to read. It's horrible.
I don't even know who that last bitch on the right is next to Raven. I don't even know who that bitch is supposed to be. Who the fuck's that supposed to be?
That's that one fucking
Who the fuck
that's
is
Ren's
that?
mom.
You know what?
We never see Ren's mom, do we?
We see her, but
In
she's
one
like,
episode in a flashback before
Yeah,
she
it's
gets
a-
fucking
yeah,
before
it's a
she gets
flashback.
fucking Attack on Titan fucking mom death by the fucking Knuckleavi.
So,
Okay, whatever.
you know, at least it's not in my fucking Discord server
yeah.
yet. It's never gonna have a
Yet.
porn channel,
You
by the way.
you spam fucking elf porn all the time.
No, it's
you-
not porn.
No, that's elf art.
It's
was gonna say, do you-
waifus. Thank you very
do you-
much.
Do you want me to spam this shit? Cap has sent me I have so
No.
much porn on here
No,
thanks to
no,
Cap.
no fucking porn. No
You want
fucking
some?
porn. No fucking porn. The only porn is in verbal written format, and that's to be read in my most monotone, depressed voice possible.
No.
Anyways,
Please finish the rest of this in the depressed monotone voice. I want to hear it.
okay. He sent her off at the door, Cinder stepping onto the vehicle that had been waiting for her. The driver's young features giving him a brief thought of possibly getting some sort of gainful employment, rather than to live off the worth of his family line. I don't really like her, he mumbled, Juniper making a sound of affirmation. She's so... He wasn't going to say... he wasn't going to say old, but she definitely was around 26 or 27. That was entirely too old for the mother of a household.
Motherfucker, are you serious? Now, too old for the household would be something like, in her late 40s or something like that.
Cap. The purpose is progeny. To get kids for the bloodline. 27
Yes.
is too old.
In a quote-unquote medieval society, you must have many kids.
Here's the thing. At 27 to 28 is when female fertility starts to decline. And it declines fast. The rates of miscarriage, complications with birth, defects, birth defects, mental illnesses in the children that are from the day they're born, basically. Autism, Down syndrome, all that goes up significantly after the mother is age 28. So
Knock them up while they're young.
And besides, like, we have
that
data.
That just fucking confuses me too, because this was basically an arranged marriage from his fucking parents.
Not
cooking
everybody.
her.
Not everybody is a fucking MILF lover, okay? Not everybody wants to be dominated by a 40-year-old fucking woman.
No, I'm not saying that.
Don't you dare
I'm
say
saying,
that, Kelly. You motherfucker.
Yeah. Oh yeah, fuck you too for that, kitty. Anyway, what I'm saying is this was an arranged marriage and shit. His parents orchestrated all of this. You think that if they wanted that, they would have fucking did a lot more vetting for who they picked for their son.
That's what we've been talking about.
Cap, you should know that his parents are the most retarded people on Earth at this point. Come on, man. You should know.
Yes, I am very much aware, but goddamn, man. It was like, yes, we want our son to marry and produce heirs. Let's give him this fucking 30-something-year-old woman who's probably fucking barren as the Sahara.
You know, they've been implying that they wouldn't care if the heir is a Faunus, right?
Yeah.
Somehow.
Which is fucking wild, but...
Which completely fucking breaks everything, because then it would just be a big fucking scandal, because the kid would come out with a Faunus trait.
Again, that would be a plot. That would be a major... I'd assume this will be a plot point later if there actually ever came a kid out, but I don't think they're ever going to go there.
And also later on, they make it a point that, when they marry people or whatever, they do genetic tests. So if the Faunus offspring ever had to marry somebody in the future, they would just do a genetic test and be like, "Oh wow, you're a Faunus, okay." Huh.
And it happened to someone. I'm not gonna say who. But God fucking damn it! Are you serious?
Anyways, let's continue. It is an advantageous match, though. Would you rather be engaged to a young babe? He shook his head before he glanced at his older sister, who smiled a little more. How was Yang? His sister's face turned a little difficult? What kind of fucking expression is difficult?
It's a difficult expression, you see, because you can't fucking read it.
When you're trying to take a shit and you're trying to really push it out, just take a mirror and look at your face. That's difficult.
Kind of burns your ass a little bit. That's a real mean shit, let me tell you.
I don't need details.
Yeah, you're Danish. You can't handle spicy food. You don't know the pain.
That was Courier that said that.
No, I'm talking to Lol.
Ah, yes, this is Food Reviews guy telling you you're fucking degenerate and you've ruined my day.
Fuck off, Windows. Fuck off, Windows. Fuck you. Get out of my screen. I'm not updating. Fuck off. Anyways, back to the fucking show. He shook his head before he glanced at his older sister, who smiled a little bit more. How was Yang? His sister's face turned a little difficult, even as she looked around, obviously in search of anyone who'd overhear. Trainable. She knows how to properly serve and affect guests. The unspoken, she's showing progress, wasn't uttered. He smiled at his sister, who smiled back. His sisters weren't bad people, he knew. Well, aside from Auburn. Auburn was a little scary, but she'd never hurt him. No, she'd hurt your dick after all the... She'd hurt your dick and pelvis. That's what she'd be hurting.
No, see, I think it's even hilarious is that he's self-conscious enough to know that his sister, he probably isn't safe being around her. He's just like kind of giving a fucking, it's like a 75% chance. That's good enough. It's like, I probably shouldn't be left alone in a room with her if she's got sharp implements.
Holy shit! The beating that she'd gotten from Saffron and Juniper when she'd accidentally sliced his hand open with one of her knives had taught her that it would be unwise. And Auburn learned at least a little from the experience.
Oh, yes. Somebody wrote this, like, not a parody, and wrote this and thought, yes, this is good, this is subtle.
Yeah.
Lord Almighty. Well, that's good.
I also just like Mad Courier's just like resigned. Yeah. I swear to God, I better not hear a fucking gunshot coming from your microphone.
That's good.
I'll let you know.
He felt the look on him as Juniper brushed a hand over his outfit. The special one with the silver buttons and the jewelry, fit for a young man of the richest families to impress. Go and enjoy yourself with the blonde dear. Remember? He did, as he'd spoken with her yesterday. No sex until she was clean. Icky, dirty things were happening if the animal hadn't gotten her shots. What? Fucking STDs.
Fuck?
That's not icky, dirty things. That's called getting a disease, you dumbass.
I don't wish to get disease. I don't want it.
Entering his room and finding Yang seated on the bed, the remnants of the table cleared away and a new one placed there. He watched her for a moment. Hello there, Mr. Ark. The intonation was flirtatious, and he felt his heartbeat increase as he looked into her eyes. For a moment he imagined the fondness trait to be gone, seeing just an attractive young woman sitting on his bed, looking up at him, the maid outfit that she wore looking a little clammy. Did she spill some wine over you? He smelled wine on her, Yang giving a little nod. She wasn't ashamed, yet her eyes looked down. She would be the lady of the house, normally at least. He wasn't sure how his... Wait. I think that was in his... Well, she would be the lady of the house, nominally at least. He wasn't sure how his father managed that, but his mother certainly didn't like the thought of more than one wife. It wasn't exactly socially accepted, but it happened. Mistral did it, if you remember it right. So concubinage is a thing. Okay.
I guess. That or it's just concubines under a nicer name.
You didn't have to like your wife much, according to his father, but you had to have the confidence that you were able to put a baby in her. I'm just gonna let that...
The confidence of baby making.
I didn't realize that men in this universe had difficulty getting it up with human girls.
I mean, clearly they don't have any testosterone, so that makes sense.
Fair. Cinderfall and himself. It just felt awkward, and as if there would be something standing between the two of them. Yes.
Yes.
Master? Yang's voice pulled him out of his thoughts, her corset already unlaced. Please, take a seat. He looked in those lilac eyes, her lips forming a smile. His groin responded, her eyes sliding down, and her tongue licked over her lips.
This quickly became Fate-level sex dialogue. Her hands moved like an educated prostitute.
Her anus was defenseless. Mess.
Wait,
Yang.
This isn't tennis. This is anal sex.
Yeah. Yang. Her eyes looked into his own as she beckoned him with a finger. You're still not cleared yet, so the corset slid down, exposing that very nice set of breasts 10 out of 10 would stare at again. Doesn't mean you can't enjoy a slave, Master Jean. The little inflexion. The little
Inflexion.
The little inflexion in her voice was breathy. Breathy.
Breathy.
The little inflexion in her voice was breathy as she threw the stained cloth aside, seated there in her skirt and stockings.
Motherfucker, learn how to spell.
Let me treat you, little master. Her voice was a low purr, his groin responding even more at the moment that she rolled over. Patting the bed next to her, she let her breasts bounce as she rose up, cupping them and looking at him with a raised eyebrow. He sat himself down next to her, her fingers immediately getting to work. He was dimly aware of the door opening and someone seating themselves, a soft little huff coming from his older sister, even as she watched. It was security for him, he knew, but that didn't mean he was comfortable with the feeling of being watched. Then fuck her too.
Puff, what are we gonna do on the bed, brother?
What are we gonna do on the bed, Oni-chan?
You've already fucked Blake several times in front of your sisters, so why do you give a shit?
Like, literally, basically, her sisters are the fucking fluffers, essentially, so, good God.
She's a cock queen.
Such a big... Her fingers found the zipper and slowly slid it down, the sound agonizing to his ears as the sensation in his groin, her fingers sliding to the button and then popping his pants open. Hard cock.
Please stop using that word. It's not sex. It's just...
Cook.
It's gonna be written on my tombstone, I swear to God.
Yeah, yours not mine.
Here lies Courier 6. He died of cock.
He died of cock.
No, wait, no. He succumbed to cock poisoning.
But before he succumbed to cock poisoning, he managed to wipe out the faunus. So...
She licked her lips, her eyes looking into his own as her fingers tugged the pants down. She inhaled through her nose deeply, his hand brushing through her blonde hair. Master Jean. Her hand grabbed the band of his underwear, slowly tugging on it. A teasing smile came to her lips. How do you want your slave to treat you, master? The look in her eyes was definitely planning something as her fingers let go of the band, the elastic snapping back into place, a low hum coming from her lips as his manhood rose in his pants, her hands delicately stroking over it.
Alright, what the fuck do you think she's gonna do, you little shit? Also, hands. Hands.
God bless Hearts of Iron 4 right now. This fucking I have the perfect song going for this shit right now.
A little suck and spit. This little whore treated you just right. The bulge quivered as her nose pressed against it for a moment. Her eyes never left his as her fingers stroked over the bulge, her hot breath tickling through the hairs.
Here you go, kitty.
No, I can't look at it.
I can look at it after the show.
A tug, letting that hard fuck stick come all over my hands. She placed a kiss on the bulge, even as she slipped off the bed, getting between his legs. Her gaze was still there there as her tongue slid over her lips. The horns didn't even seem to matter as he showed his approval. Oh,
You sound so fucking dead inside.
the smile was broad as she pressed a kiss to his balls. You're the master. Her fingers slid from the thighs to seize his sack, weighing it. And I'm the girl who's gonna show you just how good a fun is fucks. The underwear was tucked down, her eyes looking up at him, her tongue sliding over those lips as her fingers wrapped around the hot stave of flesh. The foreskin peeled back, even as her eyes looked at him. A shudder came from him as her hand palmed him expertly, her tongue making his eyes close. That's good, isn't it? Oh, my lord. Her voice was a little breathy, even as her nose bumped against the sensitive glance. Glance?
Glance?
Was she intending to write glands?
Probably.
Questions about time. Are we gonna try and answer this question, or are we just gonna move on and ignore it?
Open your eyes. Wait. Open your eyes, master. Her hot breath tickled against his shaft, his eyes opening and seeing her. Their arms stood proudly there as her eyes looked up at him past the shaft, the flesh hard, her fingers teasing the base. Yeah.
I can feel the animal inside.
Her mouth opened and her tongue extended. Saliva dripped over the head, a little shudder going through his body at the sensation of her saliva drizzling down his shaft.
Oh.
That's it, nice and slick. Her hand slowly rose, fingers wrapping around the head. The sensation of the saliva being rubbed into the skin, the slickening of his shaft making a deep sensation come to mind. Mr. Jean, do you like it? Her voice was questioning even as he moaned. I'm going back to the old voice. Holy shit, that hurts.
Oh my god, you sound like the fucking Lemon Ojama.
What?
From Yu-Gi-Oh! The Lemon Ojama.
I don't know what that fucking is.
You don't know what the Ojamas are?
No, don't tell me now. I'll find it afterwards.
Alright.
That's it. Her voice was soft, her eyes never leaving his. He could feel something inside his stomach, a little twitch. She looked so human, as if her whole kind was perhaps just an error in the making of nature, but that she was human. See, that is why you can't fuck the Untermensch. You start developing empathy for them. His cock swelled as she cooed softly. Master, it's going to be a while before I'm allowed to fuck you, but I'm going to make sure that you won't ever regret taking me in. He could feel something as her hand started to jerk faster and faster, the sensation making his hips thrust up. She alternated her grip, teasing over the head slowly, her fingers sliding up and down his manhood. Her eyes looked at his face, watching him with an intent. The spelling and grammar just gets worse. It just keeps on getting worse and worse.
You can't tell me this isn't what he sounds like.
Yang, that feels good. The smile on her face was enough to make him feel a little weirder as her gaze drew down. I'm grateful, Master Jean, she said, the voice that she used more genuine as her motions increased. You saved me. He was sure that it wouldn't have been so bad, most honest that they weren't Most monsters that they had weren't mistreated, so he was sure that it wouldn't be as bad. Who'd want to hurt? Who'd want to hurt such a beautiful girl? Her cheeks burned red, her body quivering for a moment as she took a deep breath, turning her gaze away, her hand squeezing a little harder. I mean, you're gorgeous. It was true. He had a lot of sisters, all of them blonde and debatably pretty. But Yang was...
Debatably pretty. Arguably, they're pretty. You know. Arguably, Jesus Christ.
But Yang was something else. The way that her horns just emerged from her head, the manner that her hair fell down like rain of golden dreams. It was like the burning flame of life. Master? Her voice was breathy, with an audible tremor. I'm just... me. He smiled, patting her head. She nudged against it, her eyes looking up at him with a tender expression, just like an animal who acknowledged its master. You're mine. A quiver from her as she inhaled sharply, something weird again in his stomach, a fluttering as she smiled a smile that looked like the sun was rising.
You could have just said as she smiled, her smile was like the sun, right? Fucking, I don't care.
You're putting too much heart into this. Remember, this is a commission. They just sat down and like, yep, time to get my fucking paycheck.
Well,
I'm yours, yes, you're Yang. Her hand picked up speed, her eyes focusing on him. I'm going to make you the happiest human in Vale. Wait, I'm going to make you the happiest human in Vale. No, I'm going to make sure that Blake obeys, no matter what she's got in her mind. She will obey you and like you too. The words were dangerous, she's yandere. He noticed Fauna slaves should not love their human owners, nor should human owners love their slaves. Any of the women... Yeah, why? That's a good question. Why should they not love their fucking pets?
They're gonna have children with them anyway, apparently, so why the fuck not?
And, like, people naturally get attached to their pets. If they're treated like pets, then yeah, they're gonna get attached to them. Like people get attached to their dogs.
Then you got his sisters, which are basically fucking serial killers.
Pretty much. Except you don't want to fuck your dog, so, yeah.
I mean,
unless you're a white woman.
Yeah, unless you're a white girl.
Fair.
Any of the women furnace who came with child had their children sent away to a better place in order to better serve humanity. The thought of Yang pregnant with his child, looking at him adoringly with an expression. That's it. Come for me, master. He felt his hips buck, even as the globs of seed spattered over her face. The gush... It gets worse, and I'm going to read this perfectly monotone. The gushing geyser of gooey, slimy seed splattering over her face. He caught sight of Juniper sighing softly, her head shaking, yet Yang continued to stroke it. That's a good... Open quote. That's a good master, now. End quote. She rolled her tongue over the head.
A tongue of one of many.
One of many.
She rolled her tongue over the head, slowly cleaning away the seed, showing it to him as it laid on her tongue. She pulled her tongue back into her mouth, a long string of seed slowly dripping from her nose, half of her face covered in the ropey seed. Man, this guy shoots like a fucking machine gun. Come.
It's basically Hitler's buzzsaw in there, man.
I had to mute myself because I had the biggest coof in the universe. I'm always coofing by the end of these. He was panting, yet the image of Yang pregnant with his child, perhaps wearing a wedding dress and a smile. It had been legal for humans and faunas to marry in the past, before the revolution had abolished the rights of faunas. The animals needed a firmer hand to guide them, but for a moment, and it might have just been the post-orgasmic haze, he wondered about it. He wondered what would be the result of him marrying Yang. Master! Wait, Master!
What?
His faunus pet asked, and his attention went to her. Juniper seemed to be on the verge of getting out, giving him a look.
Alert!
Bitch is
Alert.
horny.
This fanfic is shit.
Alert. I'll be back in a bit. I trust you, mongrel. The woman's threat was implicit in her words, yet the woman did not stop for a moment. The door shutting closed, leaving him together with his faunus pet, who smiled. What is Regent Munaj Einherron Tons? He blinked. Well, what could she mean with that? Regent managed inheritance? He tried, speaking the word slowly. Yang nodded. Where did you hear that word? He was a little puzzled. Generally, it wasn't a word that would be busied by many people unless they were talking about pedigree or inheritance reasons. Your fiancé? She tried to speak the word, making him smile softly. Fiancé. Don't worry if you mess up a little. She was so precious in her desire to learn the language of the upper class, she used that word a few times. Wait, the language of the upper class. She used that word a few times. What does it mean? He blinked. Well, it's when the children of a noble house are managed by a regent, usually the spouse of the deceased lord of the household, if the children are below the age of maturity. If father were to take ill, I would naturally step up as the lord upon my 18th, but... Oh.
That's a big old butt.
Yes, a giant, clapping ass cheeks.
Can someone... The author does a shitty job of explaining this. Can somebody fucking explain to me what actual regent managed inheritance is?
That means who's gonna manage the fucking area?
It's a regency. So what a regency is that's what happens when your ruler is either dead or incapable of managing the household. So
Or just missing.
Yeah. So it would happen a lot if, say, a ruler were to go off to war and then be taken prisoner. They would be in a regency while they're off fighting rather than directly governing. What this is saying is basically she wants to marry into the household, then kill the parents, and then act as the regent for the Ark family, whilst Jean is under the age of 18. But historically, regency periods ended once the person reached 16, at which point they would be able to govern properly. Or at least seen to. Cinder was trying to do something like that. She was a little too old to be of prime marriageable age, so what? He looked at her and winced. The match had been decided by his father and mother, and it was hard to deny. It was perhaps just barefaced luck that Yang had overheard it, as most of the members of upper society did not bother to moderate their words when alone with the slaves. It seems likely that I will be met with an accident after I've conceived a few children with her. The look of horror on her face was real. He could sense it, her true feelings laid bare. The thought of him dying disturbing enough for her face to show it. He didn't really want to die. This seriously sucked. And I am leading back down.
He's just like, wow, the thought of my own morality, that kind of sucks, dude. Big fucking bummer, bro.
Brah. I could die. I don't want to die. Dying sucks, brah. Come on, brah. I don't want to die, brah.
Literally fucking Bill and Ted level fucking, like, acceptance of your own mortality.
Bruh, that sounds kind of bad,
dude,
bruh.
like, this death guy, like, he's just like this dude with this black robe, and, like, he's a skull dude, and he has, like, this fucking dude scythe. Yeah, he's really bad dude. Like, totally dude.
Local author had no clue how to write character drama. More news at 11.
Holy shit, now that I'm up and, like, sitting up, all this fucking gas is hitting me. Holy shit.
Gas, gas, gas!
Maybe you could use it to kill the faunus.
But, yes. So, that was something. That was... I really wish the author would just stop fucking repeating words. Like,
That has been my greatest gripe so far.
Like, I don't fucking understand how you look at this and think, oh yeah, it's perfectly fine to use the same word 3 or 4 fucking times in one sentence.
Yeah.
Again, this is a commission, not even a commission of love or anything. It's just a cold, hard commission because somebody wanted to have $50 more in their pockets.
I can't fault a person for that, but I can fault them for putting no effort into it, man. Come on.
Yeah, at least the fucking people who, like, break down and do the Wonder Bread commissions, they at least put effort into it.
Anyways. Calling it there for the stream.
Next
We
chapter.
got 2 chapters, come on.
No, I'm not doing 2 fucking chapters tonight. It's 10:17. I don't want to go to midnight today.
Coward! It's like 6 here.
I'm doing the same thing next week, same time, fucking 7:30 starting.
Same bat time, same bat channel.
Who the
I'll
fuck
shut up.
is that from?
What do you mean, what the fuck is that from? Do you not know what that is from?
I recognize it, but I can't put the place right now.
It's from the fucking old, oh my god, it's from the Adam West Batman fucking TV show. How do you not know that?
Batman. God, that was so fucking cheesy. Jesus Christ.
It was great though, man.
Even for that fucking time period, that was cheesy.